And I click the go. There it is. Yeesh.
Yeah. What a fucking shame.
Dude, it kills
sucks.
me. It kills me. Legitimately, it does.
Yeah, no.
Like,
at least you've got Payday 2,
yes,
I guess.
legitimately, yes. Like, that game is finished, and that's fine.
Yeah, that game is finished. It's still fun.
Yeah. People play it.
Yeah, that was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's like 10 times the player count on Payday 2.
Yeah, I remember because it was just like, oh yeah, 2,000 people are playing Payday 3 and like 29,000 are playing Payday 2. And I'm like, yep.
Yep, sounds about
right.
right.
Sounds pretty accurate to me.
What a fucking shame.
Dude, it just... I'll never stop lamenting that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Oh well.
Wait.
Unfortunately, things die. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean...
Sometimes things die and sometimes things are killed.
It's... yeah. It's funny because, like, Payday 1 was like, you know?
Uh-huh.
And Payday 2 was such an improvement over it, dude. Like...
Yeah.
Man. And then
once the original dev team left and...
Yeah, it explains why a lot of the heist people didn't like. I mean, I thought they were all fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with them because they had the foundation, right? But
yeah,
none of them, like, were shit to me, so... I don't know. Hey, Draco Kraken, how's it going?
Oh, well.
Yeah, and... Oh, hey, wow, cool. My network is fucking dropping. Oh, nice.
Oh, good.
That's good.
I'll go back to form. Just back to our regular shitted content.
That's right. Okay. You can't. How did
you've been having too much fun lately with the good internet, so they had to throttle it.
Apparently.
Ugh. I hate that that's a thing they can do.
I know, isn't it great? I love the repeal of net neutrality. It makes everything better.
Well, for the corporations and the government, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, like, why not?
That's right.
They're the only ones that matter.
Ugh. Yeah, it's true. Well, apologies for frame drops today, friends. That's just something we're gonna have to deal with, I guess. Until...
Have you tried fucking around with OBS for like 3 hours?
No, but I did just update it, so...
Oh, okay.
But it's probably...
I wonder if that's why!
I don't know. My computer was being weird beforehand, too.
Oh, okay. Then probably not.
Yeah, I restarted and everything, so it should be fine, but it's not. What's up, my Fortnite gamers? Hey, Lux, what's up? I've played one game of Fortnite.
You've played a Fortnite?
I have done a Fortnite, and that was way before they started doing crazy shit.
Oh, so you played it before it was cringe?
No.
Or was it still cringe back then?
It was back when it first started being the BR that it is, and then yeah, I never got to play the other mode, the original mode. Well, while I do stuff in the background here, because fuck me.
Yep. Fuck you.
Fuck me. I'm gonna be messing with some shit. So, hello everybody, and welcome back to TableTalk Discussion and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Brennan95.
Yeah, and I'm effectively just the second host now.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still playing RuneScape.
That's right.
I'm trying to make money, man.
You gotta make money.
I gotta make money. I gotta buy the Dragon Hunter crossbow, dude.
That's right.
It's $60 million.
That's right. I'm tempted to just unplug this from my router and just plug it into the modem itself. I'm
tempted to just unplug my life support.
Yeah, you know. is that it is.
Ready to just unplug this fucking servitor.
Yeah, what do I need it for, you know?
Yeah. I think he's suffered enough. No, that's not right.
Wait a minute.
They've never suffered enough.
No. Yeah, everything is going slow on my end. Why is this happening? Okay, something is happening. Is it Steam? Close. Die.
Might be.
It's taking a while to close. Okay, there it goes.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Are you still uninstalling Darktide?
no, that uninstalled the next day. Uninstalled the next day.
Yeah, I uninstalled mine too.
Oh, and now my internet just won't connect.
Ooh.
Even though I'm talking to you and doing this.
Yeah, I can still hear you for now.
Very cool. Hold on. Okay. My router just... I cannot connect to my router. Okay.
Uh-oh.
That's neat. Let me go to the app that I have to connect to my router, and maybe that will work.
Yeah, I can't connect to the app. Oh, my phone's out of battery. Oh, my charger cable's broken.
Exactly.
Oh, they turned off the power.
Just everything fucking happens at once.
Yeah, every time you go for a solution, they cut that one off too.
That'd be great. That'd be so good. I would love that.
Wouldn't even surprise me at this point.
I fixed it, you know? I fixed it.
No, I know. It's bullshit.
I'm gonna... Okay, this is gonna be weird, everybody. I'm gonna reboot my router, and it just is gonna make everything go away. So if you can hear me right now, I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Hello.
Welcome back. I tried to
Thank you.
entertain the masses.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to, because, like, my thing was not connected and everything, so...
Oh, okay, so the whole stream died.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So
Yeah,
I was just talking to myself. That works.
Yes. Yeah, you were.
Yes.
I
was talking about how selling imps is effectively like a very, very mild form of slavery.
That's true. Selling a living being would be very, very mild forms of slavery. By mild, I mean pretty major.
Well, see, here's the deal.
Yeah.
You catch implings and put them in jars, and then you can sell them. And then when you use the jar, you pull the impling out of the jar and free it, and it gives you an item in exchange.
I see.
Unless
so extortion
you decide to just...
is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty much extortion.
Yeah.
Of tiny... Well, okay, I guess they are like baby demons.
Devils.
Who are also thieves.
God. Yeah, but two wrongs don't make a right, my guy.
It's true. We'll tell that to the Imperium of Man.
Well, they are
I think
always
you'd be
correct.
turned into a servitor.
Yeah, come on. They're always correct.
Yeah, that's true.
It looks like that fixed it.
That's good.
So I guess we'll just wait for everybody to come back.
Yep.
Because I love it that it just kills everything and boots everyone out when I have to do that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure. Yeah, oh yeah, it's working just fine. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, guess
it
I
must
should
have
have
been
done
the
that
update
before
or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, things were going weird before, so I rebooted it when I was away from home, and then, you know, when I came home and started doing stuff, it was fine. So it wasn't until I started streaming. Oh, now it's doing it again.
Uh-oh. Well, okay.
Love it.
Now, okay, so then that, to me, that tells me that there might be a process in your computer that's doing it. And maybe that process hadn't gotten fully booted up.
I don't have anything else that would be taking it. That's the thing.
Well, check your task manager and just take a look. Just to see.
So we'll go for network. Yeah, the only thing that's using my network is OBS, like the 1%.
Ah, okay then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great. Well, again,
is it a lot of frames?
It's every now and then it'll drop quite a bit. It dropped 666 that time. That's neat.
Oh, nice.
Satan!
Yep.
Why are you here, Satan?
I'm the one who's taking our internet.
Apparently. Yeah, no, it's dropping again. Fucking hell.
Shame.
The only other thing that I can think of is I did buy a new modem and I never installed it just because I was like, oh no, it's working fine. I don't need it. So
yeah,
maybe I'll do that for next time. It's fine. Okay. Everybody, we're gonna have to deal with the things, and I'm gonna do my best to not look at the bitrate. And if things don't come through, they'll come through in the VOD. So
yeah,
basically, it's a VOD episode. Everybody, sorry about that.
So give us more views, please.
That's right. Yeah, watch the show when it goes up, when it's live and shit. Right?
Yes.
Something up with Darktide. So it had an update, but it's gonna have another update soon, hopefully. But also, like, we played it the other night, because it was this lad's birthday.
It was.
Oh
I
my
turned
God.
31. Dear fucking God.
So old, this man.
I know.
I'm so close, but at the same time, I will ridicule you until I am not 20 anything anymore.
That's fine. Actually, you know what? In retaliation, I keep forgetting to ask.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know how tall you are. Would you categorize yourself as a short king or a pocket prince?
Goodness, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because from what I gather, short king refers to over usually 5.
It's usually like 5'11" to like 5'9".
What?
Short king.
Really?
Yeah. And then like anything below is
then I thought
to be like a pocket prince.
Oh, I thought because 5'8" was like the thing, right? And like,
no, that's 5'11".
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're 6 foot or if
then
you're
I'm
5'11".
I'm pocket sized, yeah.
Oh, oof.
Yeah, I'm 5'4", dude.
Oh my God.
I'm tiny. Yeah, I'm
He's
a small
baby.
Every time I say that I'm tiny, I am. I'm small.
But yeah, no. So like one of the other ones that people usually use as an example would be like Tyler 1.
Oh yeah, fair.
He's a pocket prince.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although, just he'd still fucking beat your ass because he's jacked.
Oh, of course,
he's
jacked. Yeah, and he's got an anger management issue.
Yeah.
At least that's what I gathered from all the memes.
Yeah. Although to be fair, like I don't really. Okay, it's not very fair. I don't like Tyler 1 like at all. He seems like a douchebag.
That's fine.
Like even like outward appearance, he seems like he's a dick. But. People will say that, but he only has like a few memes that even show that. He's got like 4.
I know.
And that's it.
It's the one, but they make the rounds, so people.
Yes, they absolutely do.
Yeah, no, I get you. And like, he's probably fine. Like, there's probably nothing.
Yeah, no, he's probably
fine. I just don't give a shit about the guy. He's a person out there,
Yes.
But yeah, so we played Darktide the other day, and it was fine still.
Yeah.
Like
they updated the talent tree, and so I wanted to check it out and see if it was any better. Yeah. And it's essentially just the exact same game. We needed more content because, like, to me at least, the talent tree was the least of the game's issues. They just need more content, like more things to do, more levels, yada yada yada.
And don't get us wrong, the game's still good. Still fine.
Yeah.
Like, if you buy it, it is worth your money, for sure.
Yes. Especially now that it's, like, completely functional.
Yeah.
In the beta, it was barely functional.
Yeah, exactly. We streamed the beta of it, and it was it was what it was. But, like, now you connect and you stay connected, which is good. The load screens are still fucking long as hell.
Yeah.
But, otherwise. So I'm noticing now that the drop frames thing had happened. It is no longer happening, and now that I've noticed it, it'll start happening again. But
of course,
right now, I mean, it's going strong, so we're good.
Yes. Yeah, and so after we played Darktide, we played Deep Rock, which is with mods significantly more fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. I was telling Boo, like, I think that's probably one of the best co-op games for, like, in a long time. Like, there's no question, at least in my mind. I know I rant and rave and I love Payday 2, and that's a co-op game, but, like, Deep Rock has something special, legitimately.
Yes, it does. Especially if you do mods. If you play it without mods, it's still good, but
still good.
It really is something special if you start adding mods.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those games that I actually would rather play with mods than vanilla, because I usually play most games vanilla without any mods,
That's fair.
I don't know why, it's just how I do things.
Yeah, no, like, usually I do as well. I usually only ever do mods in games if it's, like, a marked improvement or something that's, like, necessary, or just to make the game a bit more fun and less tedious. Like,
yeah, I get you.
I used mods at one point in Payday 2, and I did it in a single mission where you
told me about that. Yeah.
Infinite radios. There's no bag weight, so everything is light, and everything is as light as dollars, and you can sprint with bags, and you have I think that was it. So I went into a night raid or whatever it was. I just got every single bag and killed every guard.
Yeah.
So I had fun with that. And that was the only time I did that.
Everyone complains about the humans, but no one ever does anything about them. Well, they're trying. Don't worry. It'll happen.
Yeah, no. We're working on it.
We're working on it. You ever seen Cole? Satan doesn't want to deprive the masses of internet. It's his creation. That's true. That's true.
Well, no,
it's fucking God.
He wants to make sure that people aren't deprived of Twitter, not the internet. Or X.
No, I refuse.
The Ministry of Truth. God
the Ministry of Truth. That's right.
Ugh.
I refuse to, because even still, and I sent this. I remember because I sent that to Aiden. It's like on my fucking bookmark bar. It doesn't change because they update when you are using them. It says home/Twitter, but it has the little X profile. So like, it's still Twitter. I don't care.
Yeah, it's still Twitter.
And that might just be because it doesn't update for me. I don't know. But regardless.
Well, I mean, that and, it would be like, remember that time when IHOP was like faking that they would change their name to IHOB? Remember that?
I do, actually. That was weird.
Nobody was ever going to fucking get on board with that. Nobody.
No.
So it was just a marketing stunt. But yeah, like even if you did that, people were just going to call you IHOP anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. That's the name we know you by.
Yeah, this is the other thing, though. Apparently, from what I heard, Elon... I don't know if we talked about this before, but Elon was trying to get PayPal to change its name to X way back when he was doing that.
That's weird.
So, like, he's had this thing in his head for a while. Like,
he really likes the letter
X. X? Yeah, I don't know.
That's really weird.
Now, that's something that I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but please, like, if that's true, that's funny as hell.
If it happened with Twitter, it might have.
It might have. I don't know. I have no idea. But that's just what I heard. Welcome to the 31 Club. Everything hurts.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not even there yet, and everything hurts. I took painkillers, and it didn't stop the hurting. It was great. I loved it.
Yep.
2 more of those until you're 93. True.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, I try not to think about that.
Yeah, I try not to think about my mortality.
Yeah, it's a topic that makes me incredibly afraid sometimes.
Yeah. I try to think about the ways I'm going to live forever, like my Cthulhu campaign.
There you go. I love how everyone says 5'9" is average, but me at 6'2" felt so short in high school. All right, whoop-de-doo. Good for you, Draco Kraken. That unintentionally rhymed. You guys try...
At least there's not many women out there who say, I won't date anybody under 7 feet.
That'd be so funny.
Oh, Christ.
You guys try out RoboQuest 1.0 yet?
RoboQuest 1.0, no.
Hold on, let me find what that is. I gotta get back into the watch together and everything, because fucking...
Yeah.
I have RoboQuest, and I played that before. Is it fully released now? Was it not fully released when I played it? It was really fun. I liked it.
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's a roguelike, but it's like a first-person shooter roguelike, and it's really fast-paced and stuff, and it has like different guns and stuff you can get around along the way and everything.
I have found that I am extremely picky when it comes to roguelikes.
Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. This one I was like, oh, nice.
I really, really love ones that have meta progression, where, you have like shit that you can apply. You go on a run, you get 10 points, and you can spend 10 points on like a permanent health increase for your future runs. So Risk of Rain has good gameplay, but like after you've played through a couple times, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you might unlock a new character, but even after that,
Yeah, no, I get you 100%.
It's
the same thing with like how Darktide is right now, where I'm like, what's the point at the end of the day,
Yeah, there's nothing to build up to.
Yeah.
Well, actually, for you, that's actually wrong, because you can still get your bolter and your power sword.
Yeah, but even so, like at that point, it's like, okay, I got him.
Yeah. Oh shit, I was gonna say something.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Fuck. Oh, maybe I'll remember it.
Okay. Apparently the Panama Canal is having problems with not enough water. Oh, great.
Oh, interesting. That's not good.
Well, that sounds...
So the ocean's going down?
Yeah,
again?
I was going to say, but wasn't it going up before because of the ice melting? What's going on? Where's my ocean? Is it really the Hollow Earth?
Oh, shit.
I hate that. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it. Anyway,
well,
hey,
no, it wouldn't be the hollow Earth because the gravity would be pushing up on the crust of the planet.
No. So stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I hate that movie
Alejo,
so much.
There's also an RPG called Hollow Earth Expedition.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's it's whatever, you know? It's an RPG.
Yeah. It's true. It also takes place in like Nazi stuff, so.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so like the Nazis are like, oh, we gotta go to the Hollow Earth to do stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's already alternate history and stupid.
Yeah, it's pulp.
So, yeah,
it's pulp as hell.
Yeah. So it's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
No, it's mostly because they fucking tried to. They apparently pulled a fast one on all the people who rated fucking Kong versus Godzilla and up to a 6.8 out of 10. Fucking, it's a 1. Get out of here. Leave. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to get on that again.
They were just having fun.
Yeah, it'll come out at some point. It's so bad.
Yep.
Trust me, boo. Women have many reasons not to date me.
Oh no, like that's fair.
Correct.
But at least the whole like, oh, I don't date people under 6 feet won't be one of them.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Because like fucking hell.
RoboQuest hit 1.0 this November. Oh, okay. Cool. I'll have to re-download it and try it again. See what's changed, if there's anything that's changed, or if it's still just a fun little game. Okay. Well, hey. Today we're going to be doing a topic that's a little out of the norm. Oh my goodness. Or not out of the norm. It's connected, but with the same person. Yeah. So everybody remembers. Let me pull it up here. Everybody remembers our good old buddy, the DM Lair. I don't remember what his actual name is because he said it a couple of times. Ocean's rising, but there's less rain, so rivers are drying up, and that means less water to go into the canal. Oh,
interesting. Okay.
That's not good. Okay. I thought that the canal was for like going between oceans. That's why I was
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, if they're using the river water to like fill it and shit, then I see how that is a problem. Anyway, thank you. So Luke, his name is Luke. There it is.
Yes.
I believe. Anyway, so DM Lair put out a couple of videos. These ones are this one here is a year ago, I think, somewhere around there. And then the second one is 3 months ago. And they both have to do with professional DMs.
Okay.
So in the thumbnail and everything, you see like Matt Mercer and well, for this one, I think it's you only see Matt Mercer and why can't I remember? Dimension 20.
Brandon. Yeah.
So you see
Herrera.
Yes.
I have no. I don't remember what his name is. Brennan Lee Mulligan. That's it.
Lee Mulligan. Yes, there you go. Yes. So they're both on the front of it because you'll click on it because they're there, right?
Yes.
Which I was like, I thought about it for a second, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna undermine myself, and I put us on the thumbnail, me handing you money, and
also
saying
I feel attacked.
But it's more in reference to if you remember the fucking.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know what it's in reference to.
All right.
I feel more attacked because it's like, oh, Aiden gets away with everything. And he becomes the main character. It's like, yeah, I know. My currency isn't money in D&D. It's realism.
It's funny. It's just great. So I figured I'd do that.
Logic.
I figured I'd do that instead of, I don't know, doing something that would make people click on the video.
Yeah, just paying me money.
Because, it's just how it be.
Yeah, no, it is.
I don't do anything that makes the algorithm like us, of course. It's just how this works. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, boo. Sigh.
Guy. So yes. You know what? I had the best idea. I don't think it would ever happen, but I would love to have Ginny D on and we dunk on Garibay.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
That would be so fun.
For sure, dude. That would be so fun.
God.
Yes. We could play Garabingo. That would be so much fun.
That would be fucking
great.
My God. It would never happen.
It would never happen, for sure. But that would be so much fun.
And just think of the fucking audience sharing. She gets like 600 people. We get like 2 million or however. No, 600,000.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, that's true. That would be a smart decision for sure.
On our part.
On our part, for sure. Not for her. We're a brand risk.
Yes, we are.
Anyway. So this video is called 9 Things Pro DMs Do That You Shouldn't, which is interesting, right?
Yes.
So I'm going
actually
to
somewhat interested.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's a lot of stuff that's going to be specifically for, like, you know how Critical Role does their shows and Dimension 20 does their shows of, like, I don't know, I honestly I have no idea how he's going to phrase it, but, like, don't be them. You know, like, don't try to just embody them, like, wholly and try to, like, rip off what they do, basically.
Yes.
But the reason why I picked this one first, one, because it's older, and two, because the one from 3 months ago is about things that people don't talk about that pro DMs do. It's the same title, but it just says that nobody talks about instead of that you shouldn't, or things that they do that you shouldn't. So, like, I don't know, and the really weird thing to me is that this one's all capitalized proper, for attention grabbing, and the other one has no capitalization except for DM, and nobody is fully capitalized. So, like, I don't know what happened there, but it's very interesting and concerned, right? So... we shall see. Not sure your special brand of humor would connect with our audience. No, they'd hate us. No, absolutely not. Nobody likes us. Not even you, I promise.
We just run an extortion racket. That's why.
That's right. Yeah,
you give us money.
Yeah, exactly. But no, but like we're a brand race.
It would never happen. But God, it would be so fun.
It would be super fun. But there's no way.
But mostly just because dunking on Garibay's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
As long as he's not being a piece of shit.
Right, yeah. I would actually love to talk to her about that. Like, just to get some insight onto, like, just how she was feeling in the moment and everything. Because, like, it's pretty obvious, but, like, at the same time...
It seemed pretty pissed.
Yeah, at the same time, it's just one of those things of, like, we only tolerate because we are on the outside, and he will never interact with us over what he has done already, you know? Because I assume he doesn't take us seriously at all. Right.
No, I doubt he takes anybody but himself seriously. Let's be honest. That and Hasbro.
Yeah, and Watsy at the moment. But yeah, so like we can always just laugh and be pissed at him for that stuff, and he never like looks at us. But when he looks at somebody else, it's just one of those things of like, how does that? Because this man is a crazy man, you know?
Yes, he is.
So, like, how does that, like, what goes through your head when you first start seeing him pop up, you know? And have you done any research and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's
full-on investigative report.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to know a bunch of stuff, but of course, you know, it'll never happen. So, I've done a lot of hangout stuff with you guys to not like you guys. That's right. That's true.
That's fair enough.
But that's just because you're in the sunk cost fallacy at this point, and you've given us so much money that you feel obligated to, so that you don't feel like you've
wasted your money.
You've wasted your money.
But I'm sad to report you have wasted your money regardless.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, look, you donate to the show. And Alejo can't even fucking fix anything. It's always broken.
Hey, I fixed it. I fixed it.
I know.
Garibay is an enigma, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so enough talking about that. Let's talk about this, because this is actually something that I do want to know what I shouldn't be doing that pro DMs do. Please, inform me.
What works on a D&D show may not work in your D&D game.
Yeah,
Here
easily.
are 9 things pro DMs do that you probably shouldn't. Number 1, long monologues, long narrative descriptions, and long cutscenes. I suppose that you could throw in long character monologues here as well. They sort of fit. These things work for D&D shows. They work when everyone is cooperating for the sake of the production. The players will sit there patiently and listen to the dungeon master doing the NPC monologue or the long, beautiful narrative description that just goes on and on, describing every beautiful, wonderful blade of grass. However, your players in your D&D game absolutely won't. And they shouldn't have to. I mean, maybe.
Okay, so we've already come to an absolute.
Yeah, you're already starting to lose me here. I was interested.
So first off, right, like, just because it's the production doesn't mean that that's the only reason that they're paying attention and wanting to, like, go with what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you, well, obviously you don't know this, Sir Luke, but, yes, I've knighted him.
Oh my god.
I guess, I don't know. But, in our Devils and Dice game, okay, and I use this as an example every time, whenever Dispotter is speaking, we give him the time of day. Like,
I'd say you give him the time of the week.
Yeah, exactly. We give him all the time he deserves, right? Because that character, to us, we are very much going to pay attention to because he's important. He's also kind of in control of everything. And, like, we, I don't know, respect Boo enough to, like, want to listen to the whole speech when he's, you know, because we've played with Boo for a while now at this point. And, you know, before you would tell us, like, oh, okay, well, I do want to get, like, a monologue out, you know, so if you just bear with me
I
for
would
that.
do that if there was a boss.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I think I specifically did that with the Lich, and I was like, I want to have a monologue between the Lich and, whatever his name was.
Oh, and Zeke. Yeah.
Zeke, that's it. I want to have a monologue between him and Zeke. You guys can absolutely set up for your ambush and, like, attack, but don't attack him during the monologue, please. And that's what I did.
Exactly. And, like, stuff like that is just like, well, so we're able to buy into that and be okay with doing that kind of stuff because we want to give that scene first off to Boo to, like, give us to see, as well as to give Brogan his time in the spotlight for sure, because it was meant for him, right? And, like, obviously this will vary by your table, but if your group is going to be, you know, a cohesive kind of group, they usually, you know, want to give the time of day. And, like, even in other groups that I've been a part of, people don't usually interrupt when somebody else is talking, you know? They want to sometimes, and sometimes it does make sense. It really just depends on how comfortable the group is, really. But, like, yeah, it's very much not something that I see done a lot, and I would assume that younger players potentially could, or people who are more inexperienced would, right? And it's another reason why I believe, at least, creating characters together at, like, a session 0 or before that or whatever, so that you can get that, like, you understand more of how that character is going to be, hopefully, so that you can play off of them while you're actually in game is important. And so, like, all of these factors can come into play to make it so that your table will, like, be fine with a monologue. Some people might just tolerate it, you know. It doesn't mean that they won't, like, go through it necessarily. And again, you could do something like with what Boo was saying. You can set up to do whatever you want, but don't, like, just interrupt the monologue, you know, because this is something that I feel is kind of important. Right.
Yeah. And, like, I can, like, say, you know, I'm doing the monologue and you guys are still, like, you're setting up your, okay, I'm doing the monologue and you guys decide to interrupt and attack. You would get a surprise, you would get a bonus, like a surprise attack.
Sure, yeah.
But if I let you set up and then you attack after the monologue, I'll still let you have that surprise round.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to deprive you of that surprise round because of that. Because you can set up, you don't have to, but if you do, then you can get that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't want you to feel like if I'm doing a monologue, I'm kicking you out of the ability to, like, have an advantage here because the villain is doing villain things.
Right, he's monologuing. You got him in a monologue.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, it's really just up to the I guess the amount of faith and respect you have for both your fellow players and your DM. I really think that's kind of what it boils down to. And as he says, you know, at least not totally in his own words, but partially, like, not all tables are going to be that way, you know? And I would expect that the people that are running those tables would know their players enough to, like, not do that right off the bat, and even even if they did, they wouldn't get angry about it or anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It would just
They'd be
a
ready
thing.
for that.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I'll throw this in here. Like, if they haven't done it before, I'll throw this in here and see what happens. And if they just interrupt, that's fine. But we'll see if, like, they want to pay attention and really get to know what he's saying or something. And, you know, and to be fair, some people might think, oh, he's talking a lot. He's trying to, like, draw my attention away from something. He's trying to plan something out. I should stop him, right? Which is a totally valid thing to think. Right?
Yeah, that's completely fair.
Nothing wrong with that. And so I understand why things get cut off in the middle and shit, right? So.
Because that's a thing you can absolutely do in video games. And, you know, it's you know, it happens in a lot of, like, stealth games and stuff. If you play stealth games where, you know, go to this place and assassinate the target during his speech or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, you know, while they're. Yeah. Or, you know, if you could listen to the whole speech, and then once he finishes, he fucking walks away, and then you have to do something else. So I feel like it's a thing that kind of came about more so from video games and more inexperienced players, just because there's usually a benefit to interrupting it.
But, yeah. You need to do it immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's just, in general, it's just what we have as a standard of just, if you interrupt the guy while he is talking, you will catch him off guard. Like, that's just it, right? It's not from anything specific, I don't think. Just from storytelling in general, I guess, is where I would go from. Correct, my players won't, but some will, and some scenes deserve the gravitas. Exactly.
Yes.
Can you get a surprise round if you attack the Power Rangers while they're morphing?
Yes.
You would hope so. But unfortunately, the DM makes it so that time freezes when they're morphing, so...
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, hell, there was even a joke about that in Dragon Ball Super. Where there were some characters transforming, and then Android 17 fucking shot him in the face with an energy blast. I'm like, what the fuck? You can't do that. It's like, yeah, I can. You're fucking standing there doing nothing. Like, come on, let us transform. Okay, fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
They'll sit there patiently and just listen to you go on and on and on, but chances are they won't. They're going to interrupt you or go on their phones or you pick it. The thing is that your players showed up to play a game. They probably want to play a game and not listen to you talk for minutes and minutes or longer on end, nor listen to each other.
So, what? Sorry.
Man, you have no faith in people.
They just sit there and listen. So,
okay, so what a strange concept when a lot of the game is role-playing.
Yeah.
You know?
What am I, like, as a DM, what do you want me to do? It's like, okay, guys, fucking stop role-playing, let's get back to the combat.
Like, I understand that role-playing is also what happens when you're in combat and shit, but, like, it is more than that, right? Like, it is more, the game, fucking shopping.
The game is equal parts of both.
Yes, and fucking shopping. Let's talk about shopping.
Yeah.
Because, like, every single game, you will have at least once a shopping session.
Yes.
Okay? It will happen because people want to figure out what they want to get, or, you know, they're like in the new town, they want to figure out what's going on here and, like, what they can buy and sell and all that kind of stuff. Like, it will happen because, or they need to prep for whatever they're coming up to next. They want to go and get as much as possible, and it might go, you know, as short or as long as it will, but a lot of the time there's going to be, like, people they interact with for the first time. The blacksmith, the general storekeeper, the fucking wizard who sells scrolls and magic items, you know? Like, like, they will want to talk to them, potentially haggle with them, bargain with them, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's role-playing, part of the game.
Yeah, like...
So, yeah, we came here to play a game, and everything that we're doing is part of the game. I'm not just sitting there just telling you that, like, reading a book in front of you, usually. Like, sure, I might have written down a description that's a few paragraphs, you know, that might take me a bit, but, like, it's still to set dress the game, so that you're aware.
That's the thing. Like, goddamn, I don't understand the whole, we don't want to hear you describe the scene. I want to describe the scene. Because what I have envisioned in the world, I can't convey that to you in, like, a sentence.
Yeah. That's the
I
other
need a bit
thing.
more than that, and I've put a lot of effort into this world so that you can also enjoy it.
Yeah. And hell, we might have clarifying questions we need to ask, because
Exactly.
our vision of the world might not be exactly the same, because usually that's the way that it goes. We need to make sure that we understand what we are seeing, what is going on, and everything, so we can make informed decisions in the game.
Yeah, like,
you know?
I have an area in my material world, and it's a town called Prairieburg.
And
it is this big farming town where there's like orchards and wheat fields and all sorts of like baking. It's the food. It's like the breadbasket of the continent and the kingdom. And when you're approaching the town, as you're approaching the town of Prairieburg, there's a subtle breeze across your face, and as you turn to the left and right, you can see the swaying waves of golden wheat as you walk through. As you walk along a dry path in an ocean of gold. I'm not gonna say you're walking along the road and there's wheat fields on either side.
Yeah,
because that's fucking boring.
I was gonna say
I want to illustrate the scene that's like
Yes.
there's wind waving or blowing through the wheat. It's, you hear the rustling of the wheat as it like bounces back and forth. It literally is so thick that it looks like waves.
Yes, exactly. You gotta have some artistic license here so that you can actually describe this shit, because, like you said, if I just tell you there's wheat there, you're just gonna go, oh, okay, how much?
Yeah.
How big is the wheat field? Like,
if you even care to ask that, because
right.
all I've given you is there's wheat.
Well, yeah, exactly. For me, I'd be like, oh, so... are there people in the wheat field? Like, what's going on with the wheat field, Like, why did you tell me there was a wheat field? And if you just go, no, there's a wheat field.
Yeah, there's just wheat.
I would go,
because it's a farming town.
So I guess let's just keep going. Why did you even mention it?
So if you tell them a fact, they're going to ask about the fact. If you describe a scene, they'll envision it, and they'll just be more immersed.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Immersion is a big part of it, for sure.
Yes.
And again, if it's a game where you are just going through like dungeon crawl style, then you don't need to do long, lengthy descriptions or anything, right? It really depends on what you're doing. But at the same time, you shouldn't be discouraged from also giving things more descriptive words to add to the scene so that your players can have that vision. Yeah. Like, make them feel like they're in a world, instead of they are on a grid, They showed up to play a game. How do you explain Metal Gear Solid 3? People say through that, or say sat through that. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand, because it's like with every single avenue of storytelling, you do have to have descriptions or visuals to show what is there so that you understand the scene, Like a book. They describe the room. Hell, I'm writing shit, and I have to describe an opulent, fucking overly decadent room just to make sure that it's very clear that this place is ostentatious. Like,
yes,
that's what I need to get across. And so I devoted, I think, a couple of like pretty long paragraphs to that, just so that I could have that be established, that it's a big room, it's very ostentatious, it's got a lot of seating, and it's fucking like, why did they spend all this money? That's crazy, So like, and like in a video game, if you go into an area, a new area most of the time, and you've never seen it before, they do a panorama shot, or just panning over valleys or whatever the fuck you need, just so you can see a little bit of what's going on, so you can go, oh, and then as you continue, you see like more with your eyes so that you understand what you're doing and where you're going.
I mean, hell, think of Breath of the Wild. When you first come out of the thing, or not when you first come out of the thing, when you like reach the bottom of those mountains or whatever, and you have that, you go up to the top of that ridge and you have that big wide open shot of Hyrule sprawled out in front of you.
Yep. It is both to inspire awe as well as to give you like at least a visual of where you can go, right? What's around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
I
don't understand. This point is completely dumb.
Very strange to say they're here to play a game. Like, that's just the worst counter to, like, I want to make long, like, descriptions so that my players, like, know what they're dealing with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that's not specifically the argument he's trying to go against, but, like, that's kind of why they're there. He's going against an argument that it also is just like, oh no, your players won't allow it. It's like, okay.
They'll just ignore it.
Also, when he puts in the whole they won't listen to each other thing, I don't understand that at all, because again, this is anecdotal evidence, I suppose, but every group that I've been a part of, we talk in character to each other a lot, because that's like a big important part, so that we all get each other's perspectives and ideas and notions as to what they're going to do and what they are doing, right? Mm-hmm. Because even if the person hasn't like said anything, even if they don't say anything, they might tell you what you see they are doing, you know? Yeah. Like, oh, you okay, so you're talking, oh, okay, so you would see that I am actually rooting through my pack to pull out like a grappling hook, and then I look over to you and I go, huh? You know, like something like that. Like, yeah, it's anything, right? So it's great. Yeah. Fucking, it's all part of the game, dude.
It's all part of the game. If his players are like that, I feel bad for him.
I just don't know. I don't know what's going on. I really doubt that they're like that. I really do.
Yeah, I sure hope not, because that would suck.
I wouldn't think that he would put up with it that much, you know?
Yeah. He's whipped.
NPC monologues
he's beaten down.
Or better yet, turn them into dialogues so that the players can participate, and keep narrative descriptions short and sweet.
Okay, so first off, do you remember? This is specifically from what I did to you guys once. Okay. You remember when we did Age of Magic Fur? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And
I was the furry before everybody else jumped on the fucking bandwagon.
That's right. Aiden was a scaly. It was great. So you remember when Aiden's character, his turtle, went and talked with the mayor of that small, or I guess he wasn't technically a mayor because it was a small fucking hamlet, but the leader of that town. Yes. And he got, a bunch of information on the world because you guys had no idea about, like, anything that was going on. Now, I just have to ask, was that, like, something you wanted to interrupt?
God, yes. No idea.
My point here is that sometimes when you... No, not to... But, like, sometimes when you, are giving a lot of information, it might take some time. And while I am giving that information, I'm not, like, we've talked about, you can interrupt with, like, anything. It's not going to stop me from, like, or it will stop me from doing what I am doing at that point, but, like, if the character in the scene is going to ask a clarifying question or do something to disrupt me, then I will stop. And then we'll change the situation depending on what happens, sure. But, like, he's putting it in such a way that you are, and I guess this is something you shouldn't do, you are just browbeating your players with information and not letting them, like, interact.
Yeah.
Which is so strange to me, because it sounds like, well, I mean, I wouldn't imagine that anybody wouldn't just say, like, while they're giving, like, oh, this is the town, and we have these people here, and then the character comes in and says, oh, who's the blacksmith? And then they go, the blacksmith is this person. Anyway, but, like, but that's fine. That's the thing. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, somebody will do that, and then I will go, do you need me to clarify anything else that I just said? And they go, oh, no, sorry, you were listing people, and then I would go, okay. Well, and then I'll continue. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, like, and then if they do something, and if they do that enough, potentially, the person in the scene, the character they are talking to, might get a little annoyed and be like, can I finish my fucking thought?
Right.
Like, I'm trying to tell you information, and I would love to help you. If you don't want to hear any of this, that's fine. Just tell me, please.
Yeah, and
right?
then in scenes like that, if there's something that my character, like, if I'm just sitting there listening and my character is also just kind of standing there listening, I would usually interject with my character's gonna, like, sit down, like, Froggy style, and just be, like, doing something. While he's listening. So that way I can entertain myself a little bit more by actually envisioning what my character is doing, because I'm kind of putting a tiny little bit of change into the scene, and it's just something I can visualize the scene a bit better.
Yeah, and that adds to your character.
You can kind of think of it like, remember when Oblivion came out, and when you would talk to an NPC, everything would stop, and you'd just be standing stock still, no matter what was going on, and you would talk. At the time, that was fine. But when Skyrim came out, and people would be able to talk to you while they're drinking, while they're chopping wood, or working the blacksmith, that was a big deal, because now the conversations are a lot more dynamic. And so I think it lends itself a little bit towards that, and it just makes the scene feel a little, like, ever so slightly a bit more immersive. It just feels a bit more,
Yes, I agree. So I guess if that is the ultimate point, don't browbeat your players with stuff and not let them interact at all. Sure, I agree.
That's not something that has anything to do with pro DMing. That's pretty basic.
Exactly. So, like, just because the pros are giving their full attention does not mean it's just because they're pros. That's so weird.
Christ. It's very strange.
Keep it short, with more information available on request if your players ask about something. Now, some folks are already down below writing angry comments about how I'm knocking D&D shows, disparaging them, and dragging them through the dirt. And that's simply not...
You're like... I know you got to do it so that you can get... You got to get those people before they do it, but if they're sensible, they're not doing that. And also, don't acknowledge those people, because that's not what you're doing. They're just misinterpreting what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get why you're doing it, because it's the YouTuber thing, but come on.
Yeah, and also, that's not even the issue here.
No,
I think that's going to be like 10% of people who watching this video and will have an angry comment will be related to that.
Not even 10%, I would think. Fucking nobody cares.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's true. Like,
Skyrim, you mean wood chopping simulator? Yes.
Yeah.
Chop wood, it good.
Yes.
True. I mean, keep writing your angry comments. I welcome them. It just helps the algorithm. I love you. The truth is that D&D shows can be amazing. People love them. They watch them every week. They are a wonderful thing that elevates our hobby and brings it into the mainstream. Has brought it into the mainstream. The entire point of everything I do is to help dungeon masters run awesome games for their players. So the intention of this video is to inform you that some of the things you'll see on D&D shows probably won't work in your games. I'm trying to help dungeon masters.
Okay, so that's less of a
Yeah, that's a decent point to make, but so far you haven't
I was going to say that's not absolute.
Yeah, that's
which
the
is
other
good.
thing.
Thank you. Yes, say things like that instead of they won't.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're just making a huge blanket statement about all players in all, like, small games. It's not how that works.
Because this is the problem. I can understand if that's what you mean, is that probably your players won't. Okay, I get that. Yeah. But then again, now I'm like, is this... So I would say in your title then put for new players or something to say like that this would be for new players, because otherwise I don't... Okay.
Well, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even say change the title. I would just say just stop dealing in absolutes and just say players might, or some players might.
Sure. I know. It's just one of those things of, like, that last one is just like something that I think most people would know, even if they, like, unless you're new, right?
Yeah.
Which, if that's what we're going for, okay, but I don't know.
Not crash and burn at their own game tables. I'm not knocking D&D shows, and I recognize that this disclaimer will not satisfy many of you, and you'll still hate me and thumbs down the video, and that's fine. I still love you, but I'm not going to hold back and just lie and say that everything you see on TV will work at home, because it won't. Number 2.
Nobody thought that.
I love the straw man that you have created. It's just, I understand it's for your engagement and shit, and I'm sure somebody has said something like that in your comment, but then you've got other people commenting so that, you know, they aren't doing that, you know, like, I understand the game, but man, it's so dumb and annoying.
Yes, it is.
Don't like it.
It's just so damn obvious.
Yeah, don't like it.
Yeah.
Touch on the talkie-talkie. D&D shows feature a lot of social interactions. NPCs talking with the PCs, PCs talking with each other, tons and tons of what I refer to as talkie-talkie. I love talkie-talkie. We all love talkie-talkie. I'm not trying to say that it's bad.
But your players hate it.
That D&D shows tend to have a lot of it. And that does make for a really awesome and entertaining D&D show, especially if your players on that show also happen to be voice actors who are really good at the talkie-talkie. But this approach of overemphasizing the social interactions and making all game sessions just talkie-talkie may not work in your D&D game. The chances are that your players have a mixture of gaming preferences.
This is fine. He said may not work if you do it. Okay. I was waiting for it, because otherwise...
I didn't notice that at first, because I'm like, dude, who the fuck runs a... Nobody runs a D&D campaign where it's nothing but talking. Nobody.
Right, exactly.
There is some conflict or talk or something.
He's just saying that you shouldn't have it be a big focus necessarily, because it might not work, right?
Yes.
Which is fine to say, for sure. And I agree that a lot of groups might not enjoy only talking some sessions, for sure. Now, I am not one of those people. I have not been in those kinds of groups, actually, most of the time. So, you know, in fact, I remember one of my groups, we literally were talking about, well, do you guys want more combat or not? And I like, a lot of us were like, no, I think we're good. Like,
yeah, we like this.
This is good. Like, we can have a little bit more if you want to do a little bit more. That's fine. But like, I enjoy not doing combat a lot more.
Right? Like, I kind of like doing the skill checks and stuff. The skill checks and the actual intrigue and stuff.
Yeah. So
it's making me use my brain a bit more than just a list of things that I can do.
Right. Exactly. Like, tactically speaking, yeah, I would love to do some stuff like that on occasion, for sure. But like, it's not my main focus when I do these kinds of games. Now, again, not for everybody, for sure. Some people might just be like, I want to do dungeon crawls. And it's like, oh, okay, so you already know what you're doing here. You don't need to worry about characters that much, right? It's just, but again, fine point. Continues. You're fine.
They might also enjoy things like, I don't know, combat and exploration, you know, the other two pillars of the game. So I recommend balancing your game among the three pillars: combat, exploration, and social interaction, and trying to include some of each in every game session when possible. Now, D&D shows don't
try and include some in each game session if possible. Now, that I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
Because
I appreciate the try, and if possible.
Yes, exactly. I'm fine with that, but I wouldn't... So, I wouldn't try to inject combat in a situation, like in a session where we haven't had any combat, just so that we can have some. Yeah. You know? Because I trust that we're not all just itching for it every moment, you know?
Yeah.
It's that high that I need every fucking session, please. Give me the combat.
Yeah,
you know?
Combat's the fucking best.
It's the tits, man.
I don't
Hell
think anybody
yeah.
actually thinks that.
No, like,
in 5e.
It's fun. Don't get me wrong, right?
It's okay. But that's just for me, because I shit at balancing it.
I understand. It's fun, but like, again, I legitimately, if we had gone through Devils and Dice and never had a combat, I would have been fine. You know, like
legitimately, it would have been like wacky and fucking weird and anime.
Well, yeah, it's just I just would have been like, how do we get out of this without like causing a fight? Like that would be an interesting thought, you know, to have all the time. Which is, I mean, to be fair, we tried not fighting like most of the time. Like we only fought when we really, really had to.
Or if it was like part of the mission.
Yeah, exactly. So like we I mean, that's our group does not do combat. That is not why we are there. Necessarily.
We do jobs. We're odd jobs.
That's right.
Literally.
Yes. So, but like even in other like games, I still am good with, I don't know, trying to skirt around a direct confrontation whenever possible, because it just seems more interesting to subvert those kinds of things via gathering information and all that kind of such. But
you mean using your brain is more entertaining than using a stick?
I do like it. Yes,
I like that too. It's pretty good.
Now again, not for everybody, for sure.
Yes,
but again, I don't think you need to necessarily inject these things, because
no. Especially if you're in a city that, like a small little town, and it's like the whole adventure is going to take place in the town or the session.
Yeah,
you don't really need to go exploring if you're in a town that you already fully know, and all you're doing is like talking with people and learning information.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it just depends on what the scenario is, really, and I think you should just play to what is happening rather than trying to inject things that need to be there. You know. And if that means that in this moment, while you're at that small town, a group of bandits was going to come and raid it anyway, then, oh yeah, you have a group of bandits that are coming in. Or, oh, guess what? My neighbor just like went into their basement, and like there's been a bunch of water damage in this basement. And like, fucking their wall collapsed and there's an underground cavern down there. You know? Like something like that could absolutely happen for sure. If you wanted to have it happen / have put it in there, that's fine. It's just, you know, play it to whatever your plan is, not, again, just injecting it for the sake of it.
Yeah. Like it shouldn't be a checklist. Like, okay, we've had our combat, we've had our exploration, now we need talk.
Yeah, that would feel weird. That would feel very strange.
Don't do that.
They might appreciate exploration, but don't describe the scenery. No. Only describe it in short sentences.
Yeah, short sentences.
Make them short and sweet.
Yeah.
Which you can if it's like a hectic situation, right? Where like that, again, the scene. What is the scene? Right? What is the context here? Because
if you fall into a cave and all of a sudden you're surrounded by giant bugs, you're like, you look around the cave and it's dark and you can feel the cold air and it's wet and there's also a lot of bugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you climb down into the cave with a rope and there's no bugs, you can look around and you can actually take your time to absorb the full scene.
And I will say, not just to bolster him a little bit more, because he said before, have, you know, if you're gonna do these short, or at least for him, if you are doing these short descriptions, leaves it so that you have more information if they were to ask. Which I agree that you should have more information if they are to ask. But how are they going to ask for things that they have no idea that are about necessarily, right? Because if you go to a town and you never describe that there's shops there, they're probably going to ask if there's a shop, right?
Yeah.
Because money is necessary for life a lot of the time, unfortunately. And but like, if you never say that like somebody owns a dog, they're never going to ask if anybody owns a pet necessarily, because does that really matter? Right. And again, it just then becomes, this is a town full of blobs that have shops probably. And like, you know, so like it all these descriptions add personality and then can build that intrigue into these personalities, or just the personality of the place itself, like to make it so that people want to explore. At least that's what I think. Because usually that's how it works. If like if you give me a description of a place, I'll start thinking about it. You know, because it's like, oh, you told me about this stuff. Maybe it has this, or maybe it doesn't have this. Maybe. So
you have told me something that I can now visualize.
Yes, and then refine by clarifying questions, right? Anyway.
Yes.
Don't necessarily do this. They don't necessarily balance their games because player enjoyment is not their primary concern. Remember, it is a show. They are maximizing for audience enjoyment.
I wouldn't make that claim.
I would not say that because I mean, hell, Critical Role that got their start just playing their game.
Yeah, and honestly, like Matt made specific arcs for each of the characters and like decisions that they could make at any time. Like it was definitely also for them.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah,
because if you were just making it for the audience, the players wouldn't really be having as much fun because it's not a game for them anymore.
Yeah, it's like if you think about it would be, instead of it being what it is now, it would be the show. What is that show? The one that's on Prime Video, whatever the fuck it's called. The one that Critical Role literally had a hand in producing.
The
Vox Machina.
Legend of Vox Machina.
Yeah. So like it would be that. That's a show for the audience.
Yeah, because it just stuff happens. It's just written.
And it is for somebody to view. This also has the benefit of being something that people can view, but also is there so that they can all have fun and hang out together. You know, and like,
because it is also a hobby of theirs.
Yes, exactly. So, what a strange claim to make.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, can I prove my claim? Probably, actually, because of quotes of the people that are on these shows talking about how they like they actually are enjoying each of their own storylines and such that they've been a part of, that you can go back and listen to.
Especially with Campaign 1, because it didn't start out being recorded. They just picked it up halfway.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have started as that.
That's true as well, for sure.
Chances are that your home D&D game doesn't have an audience. Or if you're streaming it to like Twitch or something, there are like 5 people watching, so you should probably worry less about the audience and more about your players. Some of you are like, yeah, Luke, I do stream to Twitch, and you're right. There are 5 of people watching, and like 4 of them are us. Sorry, it's just what it is. But it's that easy to stream to Twitch, and there are a bajillion games streaming there. Like, what do you expect? It's just the way it works. Now, if you'd like to know
more
about running
yeah, it's just okay, cool. Like, what?
Are you projecting, my guy?
It's just an anecdote, so he can be relatable. Again, I get it. Like, that's fine. I don't have as much of an issue, but at the same time, I do, just because you're wrong about your point.
And it's also very cringe.
I don't. It wouldn't be cringe if he wasn't so cringe in this video, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
That's the thing. Really... Like, I'd have better faith of it, or a better interpretation of it if it wasn't in this video.
Yeah, if he wasn't also just very cringe.
Like, he's
got to appeal to the Zoomers, my guy.
Yes, I know. That's how you make money, apparently. But like, is it not just inherent that you would cater to your players regardless? And at that point, like, say for instance, I don't know, you start a podcast, right? And you start it on the basis of doing something where you review content from other people. Yes.
Man, it'd be fucking weird, but yeah,
I know, it'd be stupid.
It doesn't sound very profitable.
No, it wouldn't be. And in fact, the person who made it wouldn't give a shit if people necessarily liked it or not. They just wanted to make it because it's a fun thing to do, as well as something that they are passionate about. Yes? And if people enjoyed it, they would stick around, watch the thing, maybe stick around for the whole thing. Who even knows? And then later on become a part of that community, right?
And maybe even give us money.
Right.
But that's a long shot.
Give them money. Goodness, it's not about us. God.
Oh, yeah, no, right. Yeah, no. Sorry,
yeah. Come on.
Bad.
Jeez.
Oh, my God. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, God. Anyway.
Some kind of fucking alternate, like, Mandela effect going on here. I don't know.
No idea.
My bad.
Jeez. Jeez.
Maybe we should make a podcast. It sounds like a really shitty idea.
I know, yeah, it sounds awful. But no, legitimately.
And then have 3 hosts and usually only have 2 available.
Sometimes 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like, so legitimately, like, if you start a show like a actual play or whatever, you know, it will, if you cater to the people that are in the show more so than the audience, you're still going to get your following. Sure, you're not going to be growing as fast or whatever, but I feel like the people that are going to enjoy it are the people that you really want to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Because they're there for the content that you guys are producing as a result of just playing your game. Not because, hey, we did this for you. Right,
exactly. Like, sure, I am fine with doing things for someone, for the audience, you know? That's a part of, I mean, part of Garabingo is that, right? Like, it's, we suffer, but also you suffer, so let's make it more fun for everyone, right?
Yeah, because it's suffering, and nobody likes that unless you can win fucking bunk-ass merch.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, like, I am totally fine with that, but it's just like, at the end of the day, I would rather us enjoy it so that we don't get, like, super burned out and not want to do it, instead of catering to the whims of however many people might be watching, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you this right now. I don't know if we will do it, but I would love to do an actual play of my Call of Cthulhu campaign when it's done. Sure. I didn't write the campaign for you guys specifically.
No, exactly.
I wrote it to be good. I didn't write it specifically to cater to you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
I believe that due to your tastes, it is something that you would still enjoy.
Right, exactly. And, like, that's really all you can ask for, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Because, I mean, hell, I fucking love Halo, but they didn't make Halo for me.
No.
I wish, fuck.
This is for you. Oh my god.
Oh my, holy hell.
Thank you.
Halo is for me? Yo.
Sick. And then, hey, guess what? We sold it to these people. They ruined it for you.
Oh. I know how you feel about Payday.
Yup. Anyway. This hypothetical is getting complicated. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Also, isn't the advice that everyone gives about metrics is don't look at them at first and just make stuff you want to make and do it consistently? Is that the advice? Because if that's the advice, then yeah, I would say
it's good advice.
So. Yeah. That's just what you do. I mean,
you mean don't base your entire career on numbers like some kind of soulless fucking corporate monster?
Yeah,
no
that's
fucking
true.
shit.
That's true. Yeah. So anyway.
Ugh.
Game that includes all 3 pillars of gameplay. Check out my video titled The 3 Pillars of a Successful D&D Game. By the way, this Saturday, May 7th, is the last day to pledge for our Layers and Legends Kickstarter.
Cool.
If you'd like to get yourself 2 amazing hardcovers full of D&D 5th edition Game Master resources, or just help support all the free content I make, this is your chance. The first book...
once again, this was a year ago, so these are probably out and you can buy them.
Yeah.
So go find them if you want.
Layers and Legends will contain an anthology of 25 5th edition adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over...
Really, it's interchangeable though, so yeah.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, you're right.
100 terrifying new monsters. We checked and double checked, and they are terrifying. The second book, Loot and Lore, will contain a variety of other DM resources, magic items, traps, puzzles, adventure ideas, standalone encounters, NPCs, villains, and more. Digital PDFs are available too, as is a map pack which contains all the digital maps you'll need for online play. Become a Layers and Legends backer at the link below. Number 3, not introducing players' characters until it's the perfect moment for the story. Oh my... I once had a person telling me this story about how she was being introduced into a game and she literally had to wait for 3 game sessions before they introduced her character into the game because they were waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect time in the story to introduce her character. Do not do this to...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little, it's a little ridiculous. Why would you do that? For sure.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
Like, even if you just contrive a reason on the spot, it's fine. Like, let's be fair. Like, I will give you the point that you've given before that would actually work for this. We're here to play a game. Don't make them wait fucking 3 weeks.
Or however many weeks, it could be more.
Right, could be more. Just, like, don't make somebody wait if they're already in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, unless they are okay with it.
Yes.
Right? This is the whole thing, because at the same time, I also am thinking of the situations of, like, okay, so I want you to be able to introduce my character, and I want to play, for sure, but, like, at the same time, let's not just throw me in there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily just want to poof out of nowhere. I can wait maybe, like, a session or two, if it's really necessary.
That would be slightly funny as hell, like if your character was related to a genie in some way, and then you just like,
oh,
hey,
I'm here.
Hello.
Well, so that's a way to do it for sure. But like,
that'd be funny actually.
Yeah. So like,
let's go against type.
Yeah. So like, it's just obvious. Don't do that.
Yeah. Don't do
that.
I think the longest I've ever gone when a player needed to, like, a new character was coming in, I think was like maybe like a fifth of a session.
Yeah.
Where it was like what was his name? Muzzle, that's it. Muzzle had just like retired and you needed to like go finish a job. And so they needed to do some talking. They needed to be like, hey, we did the job. Here's our payment, yada, yada, yada. We'll, like, retire for the evening. And then the next morning, they woke up. It was like, hey, I'm here now. And that was it.
Yeah, exactly. It was still in the same session, so it's fine. But even then, Jesus Christ. Muzzle was able to, you know, I mean, Brogan was able to play for a while, so it didn't feel like he was going to just not play, you know? That's another whole thing. It's, you know.
Yeah.
But Cyberpunk taught me that corporations always win. True.
Well, I mean, they do. It sucks, but they do.
Yeah, which is why we'll never succeed.
Nope.
To your players. I understand on D&D shows, they're telling an ongoing narrative. There's an ongoing story that is very, very important because that is what you do when you're running
but even point me to the direction where this happens on the show, because this sounds more like something that happened to one of your friends.
Like, goddamn.
Because, like, I don't recall, and again, I might be wrong. I'll give you this one, because I don't know, I haven't watched every single episode of every single, you know, D&D show, and I don't plan to. But even the major ones, I haven't watched every single episode of, so it might have happened, for sure. For 3 weeks, though, or 3 sessions, I suppose is the better way to put it, I doubt.
Yeah,
maybe one.
That sound right. This on genuinely, even if this is an event that's happened before, this feels so extreme that this is, you know, this is like worrying about the sun quantum tunneling into Earth or the other way around. Like, this is not something you need to worry about. No one fucking does this shit.
Well, so even if it does happen and it has happened to you, you know, if you're a DM or if you have perpetrated this sin, right? Even so, I feel like you've learned your lesson right off the bat because somebody got angry, you know, like, or like you got angry and you just don't want to deal with it and you'll not let it happen again, or like, you know, like it is something that becomes a non-issue because it is probably so infrequent and so easy to correct immediately.
Yeah.
You know?
Show for an audience, I get that. But your players show up to your D&D game to play the game. And sitting there listening to stuff and watching everybody play the game is probably not what they signed up for. Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not do this to your beloved, precious players. Of course, you want them to leave and find a different gaming group where they can actually play D&D.
I feel like this has happened to you, my guy. You seriously look like you're projecting.
It's literally, he's just playing it up. That's all he's doing.
Oh, I know, but I gotta. He's so fucking annoying, man. It's either I make fun of him for doing that or I get angry.
I understand. At this point, I'm just like, it's the game. I don't care. just move on, you know?
Yeah.
I've had enough of this fucking
over the top cringe, fast talking bullshit.
Again, I get it. I know what you're doing it, but come on, please give me something. Like, you give me
Act
things
like a
on
human,
occasion.
please.
It's more relatable if you don't. I understand. Again, you need to play it up so that you get all the views and all the children. I get it, but legitimately, right?
I know. It just sounds funny.
I know. It sucks, right? But like, that's what you gotta make it so that the youngest person will continue to click back. Like, that's what you need to do in order to be successful. And I hate it. I hate it so much.
We don't like young people. Just look at me. I exist in this group, therefore we hate young people.
the show is literally put so that it is not for a young audience. I have that checked every time.
Shit. I remember what I was gonna say an hour ago.
Yeah?
You remember how I was talking about potentially doing an anime segment and calling it Desu and something else?
Oh, yes, yeah.
It could be either Desu and Daijobu or Desu and Daisuke. It'd be fucking great, dude. I think Desu and Daijobu would probably be the best.
Yes, I immediately was drawn to that for sure.
Yeah, because Daisuke is I love you or love.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, if we ever did anime, that's what it needs to be. Desu and Daijobu.
Okay, yeah, keep that in mind. That's funny.
Anyway.
Because it just infuriates me. By the way, if
you
you're finding this video
me.
useful or just enjoyed that rant, please
we
give me a
don't.
thumbs up and leave a comment for the algorithm down below. Please confirm your love for sweet, delicious bacon, and I will personally deliver a dozen packs to your front door. Okay, that might be weird. I could also just ship it to you. Number 4, 3-hour-long fights.
You know, you had
another thing
Okay.
It was slightly funny for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, but he kept going.
And then you kept going.
Timing. So, okay. Before we even get to the full point here, 3-hour-long fights, don't do them. Oh, sometimes it's unavoidable. I'm sorry. Like, I understand. Like, I have had it happen before, and to be fair, I got a little annoyed at it. But I've had it happen before where a fight has lasted two sessions.
Yeah.
Like, that is a thing that has happened, and sure, we can mitigate it as much as we want, as much as we can, but I'm not gonna stop, or I'm not gonna just end the fight, you know?
Yeah, especially if there's like if there's no reason for why it would happen, if it's completely implausible, if it's just ridiculous that it would happen, it's not gonna happen.
And if it's gonna go down to like, oh, just change your boss's health or whatever it is health, right? Like, or make it so that they are doing less damage so they're not putting people on the ground all the time, you know, or something like that, I'd be like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. It just really doesn't to me. So
that's fair.
I just don't know.
And I mean, hell, we're in a segment where it's essentially, since we're in the very final stretch of the campaign, it's been basically nothing but combat for the last 3 sessions.
Yeah. It's been boss rush time.
Yeah, or hasn't been 2. It's been 3. It's been 2.
Right.
So yeah, we're in a boss rush, and I feel bad about it, but we're able to get 2 double boss fights done per session, which has been good.
Yeah, and I don't mind it myself, and plus
because it's thematic, you know the situation, it's the final thing, so
it all works, it all makes sense. Just make your things make sense, okay? Just do that.
That reminds me. Okay, so when we a while back in Devils and Dice, there was that part when you were on Avernus and you were talking with Tiamat and getting her support and her dragons and stuff, and we had that big stampede section where you were getting there's a stampede of Ichneumons who were all going to kill dragons and stuff.
Yes.
And the way I did it was I effectively treated it kind of like a skill challenge where you guys would be avoiding stuff and running and trying to get back there. And every so often there would be enemies. And if you roll a dice, you you like successfully hit, you would always hit no matter what. But if you missed, an enemy would do damage to you.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And after you rolled, you would roll damage, and that is how many things you killed.
Yes, because you made it like it was like
they were like minions.
Yeah.
Yes. At least in that moment, they were like minions.
Yep.
And there was no exact positioning. They were just like swarming all around them, and yada yada.
Yeah.
Brogan told me that he actually had a similar thing happen in a campaign that he was in.
Oh.
Except it was significantly worse on that one because they had like 100 enemies and they had to fight all of them, and they all had like the normal hit points.
Oh.
And they were doing like 1 damage apiece, but yeah.
But why would you do that?
I don't know. And he said that the way I did it was far more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you ever have a moment where it's like that, if you have like a big battle going on and you don't want to go through the effort of having like mobs of enemies, like those actual specific rules, do that, where it's like, roll to hit, you'll hit regardless, but if you miss, you take damage, and then you just kill stuff.
Yeah,
you roll damage, and that's how many you kill.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. So I don't. Because the way the system is, at least for 5 and 3, they didn't have minions. They don't have minions.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, they don't have minions anymore either. It sucks.
That's what I'm saying. 5 and 3 don't have minions. So like. They they don't have good rules for big battles, right? The big battlefield and such. So utilizing minions is probably the best way to do that and make it so that it actually works. So yeah, minions are good. 4E is fine. Don't hate it anyway.
Yes. don't let the meme like look into 4E. Don't let the meme. Don't let the meme. I never plan a 3-hour fight. My players usually make it one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not every player can be rushed. At least trying to speed them up isn't always a thing you should do. I agree. Yes. That's the thing. It's like, if we've been playing this fight for 3 hours at that point and we're not done, then I might start being like, all right, we got to speed this up. It's a little ridiculous, you got to take your turns a little faster. I'm sorry, but this is just the way that it has to go so that we can get through this, or we stop and we pick it up next time. It's really up to you guys, Yeah. And then it's just like, whatever works best, that's what we'll do. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's only in dire circumstances that I would even consider rushing people, It's like, I need to take my time. I like taking my time, and I hate when I'm rushed. I really do. It sucks, and it makes my skin crawl. Like, it's a problem. But so I can only imagine how it feels for other people, because I don't know if they feel the same way, but I'm going to put that as the feeling that they're going to feel. Because otherwise, like, I don't know. I don't want to make
how I feel when I get rushed.
That's right. Yes, I'm going to assume that you hate it when I rush you, for sure.
Okay.
And I think that's something that I can do without any remorse to the fact.
That's fair.
So.
Sometimes see in these D&D shows are these massive, crazy long battles that last for hours. This might be an attempt to balance all the social interactions, the talky bits, or perhaps the show is just looking to have a long, dramatic battle that will keep the audience on the edges of their seats. Edges is such a hard word to say. I really can't say that word.
Relatable.
Now, while this might work on a D&D show, it may not work for you, especially if you plan it that way.
Yeah, it's a big me.
Sometimes D&D battles do go on for a long time. Sometimes even hours. It happens. I've had it happen in my games many times. But I don't plan it that way. I might think...
No one does.
Yeah, nobody fucking... Why would anybody... Oh, never mind.
That's amazing. Okay, this has to be for new people. Like, it has to be, right? Like, there's no explanation otherwise. All right, this is for brand new babies who have never played D&D or never seen D&D or just watch like a show, and they want to emulate it fully because they don't know how to play the game, and so they don't know anything.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now that we've established that, again, if I am planning on a fight to be dramatic, I'm going to plan that it's going to take a little bit longer. I don't know how long, but I don't plan for it to be 3 hours or so. Like that's never.
If you're playing 5e and you want a dramatic fight, you want it to last more than 2 fucking rounds.
Exactly. That's like the average is 2 rounds. So like,
Christ.
Yeah. Like
imagine these people playing 40k. Holy shit.
Fucking we play 40k. We take like 10 hours, dude.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Imagine if they would fucking their head would explode.
It's just like
it takes that long to move? What the fuck?
So yeah,
I gotta walk away during a movement phase when you're playing orcs.
Yeah.
And you gotta walk away when I'm doing my movement phase.
Yeah. Exactly. So I just okay. This is for babies.
It is for babies.
It's for babies.
Honestly, a lot of his content is for babies.
It seems like okay.
Why else do you think he acts like a fucking kids show character?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah,
no.
You're right because I already knew that because he's doing the things for engagement. So yeah, he has to act that way. But yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, I hate that I have to fucking god damn it.
I think a boss fight will be a long one, and it might just be. But my intention isn't to make it long. The goal is always just to make it fun and sometimes challenging, usually challenging. If that's what I'm going for in a particular battle. While pro DMs might plan their game sessions for long periods of social interactions because they know the audience likes that sort of thing, and then
there's a lot of assumptions as to what the game is for like Critical Role or Dimension 20, like it's like I know why you're basing these assumptions on what you are, but at the same time, you don't have any idea, at least for some. I will say for Brennan Lee Mulligan, when I was watching his stuff a little more religiously before, I stopped after a while just because I just stopped watching them again.
Because time, life,
and just lack of interest after a while,
Yeah. Did they get to level 10? Or did you?
Oh, I just stopped.
Oh, okay. So then, damn, your campaign with them didn't even last till level 10. Damn.
Yeah, no, that's right. But for his stuff, I remember it was the format you could see for sure of this was role play episode. Next episode is going to be combat, right? Okay. And if they finish the combat, before the time is over, they'll talk a bit more and all that kind of stuff. But like, it was definitely this is role play, this is combat, this is role play, this is combat format, right? Mm-hmm. Which I was fine with. It was okay. Like I figured that we would have a combat for something, and I didn't know why. Until we got to it, but every time it didn't feel forced. At least it always was. Yeah, it was always like it was leading to that, and I was like, "Oh, cool, good,
nice, well done."
Yeah, no, he's great for his show for sure. So he has that as a thing. So I'll give him this of like for Brennan's thing for sure. For Critical Role, I literally there were times where. I remember Matt would make jokes because, like, they would take 3 sessions just to get to the fight.
Oh my god.
Like, that was a thing because they had so much shit they wanted to do beforehand.
Yeah.
And that was a thing. It wasn't because it was planned that way.
It just happened.
It just happened.
Yeah.
So we can make the grand blanket statement, the grand blanket statement if we want to, but it only applies to the one show that I know of, and you've already shown me his show and Critical Role, so now I'm like, tell me when Critical Role really told you this every time, because I don't see it. I really don't, especially for them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like that in Campaign 3. I have no idea. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch all of Campaign 2. Maybe it then devolved into, okay, this is now how this is going to go. Which I doubt entirely.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
Right? So, like, It's only for Brennan's show, as far as I know, for the popular ones. There might be other popular ones that I don't know about that I haven't watched, to be fair. Like High Rollers, I stopped watching after their first campaign. I watched a little bit of their second one, but like they're also a popular one, and I don't think it was that way either when I was watching them. Of like, this is a talky bit. Actually, legitimately, it was the same thing of like sometimes they would just take forever to get to the combat thing. Yeah. So it only works for Brennan's show because that's the way that he has formatted it for that to be the show, and also he's made it so that his style works in that way. You know, he's made it so it does fit. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
If you're brand new, you have more pressing issues than encounter length, like CR. What a confusing system. Yup. CR is something you really need to read the DMG to understand properly. And even then, it doesn't work half the time.
Yeah, it doesn't really work very well. It's because dice. That's the problem.
Yeah, that, and they don't account for a lot of things with CR of like items, you know.
And action economy.
Yeah.
That's
like,
something that they really need to explain for new people, because the action economy is extremely important.
Yeah. That's why when we checked out that one video of that guy who fixed the CR stuff, and he made his own website to like actually put in like more than just it's this group of players, this group of levels. I mean, it's not even about players, it's just their levels. This group of levels against this monster, and it's CR. Like it actually like puts like, oh, this is their class, this is what they have, you know, these are magic items and all that shit. Like, it's a really good one. I don't remember what episode it was. Go back and find the video. You can search it on YouTube. It's really good.
Go do research for us. Thank you.
No. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, like, yeah.
I'm just saying, you go watch it yourself if you want that video, because it is really good, and it'll get you the link and everything.
We don't remember what episode it is, though. You're going to have to find it yourself.
No.
Fuck you.
No, I'm not even saying to watch our show. Don't even. Fuck that. Go find the video.
Oh, okay.
It's like 10 minutes.
I thought you meant the video that we did on it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, no. Don't watch it.
You think I'd recommend other people to watch our shit again? Come on.
Yeah, don't do that.
Anyway. Yeah, so this is
fucking weird when it comes to this fucking show, aren't we? We'd never be able to talk to Jenny D. We're a bunch of shitters. Don't watch our stuff. Don't give us your money.
Yep, that's right. I don't, because again, I've talked about it before. I don't care if this blows up. It's fun. Yeah. You know, that's all I care about, really.
It's true.
And being able to do more with it would be great, but like at the same time, I just want it to keep being a good time.
And to also be shitters when we want. We don't want to have like a fucking brand dedication. We don't want to be shills. We'll show for the things that we like.
The dedication to the brand is just us being not a brand necessarily, right?
Yeah,
like that's
our brand is just being shitters. That's it.
Really. Just doing whatever we want.
Yeah.
Of course, it's really more useful for awarding XP than balancing encounters. Yes, that is also true. CR is, for sure. And even then, it's like, are you doing XP or are you doing milestone? Because, like, at the same time, like, I'm okay with XP. Like, XP is fine, but I prefer milestone myself.
Yes, me too. Just because, honestly, it's just a bit less to have to keep track of.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the next game session have a massive battle. This is often not good pacing for an actual D&D game. Combat is a high-intensity affair in most games and can be mentally exhausting. Players need moments of low-intensity gameplay, which is social interaction and exploration. This is why, for pacing considerations, it's better to alternate among the three pillars during a game session, giving a little bit of each. So shows might intentionally be trying to have long, dramatic battles, but in actual games, they can be exhausting and feel poorly paced. Number 5, putting the story.
The other thing that you have to remember about these shows, at least for Dimension 20 specifically, that they edit it. So which is the only example that I know of that does this kind of thing of like dedicated fucking sessions to a combat and shit. And again, it's edited down, but it still like flows really well, and you can tell that nobody's like bored. So it's not gonna take, I mean, it probably takes them, you know, each episode is like an hour, but like it probably takes them at least double that, you know, just to like get through the combat necessarily. Sometimes they have to look up rules and shit.
the vast majority of D&D sessions tend to run in like, 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they're only an hour long session and they've got like combats and stuff in there, they're definitely, yeah, that's honestly very impressive.
Yeah. For like the more roleplay stuff, I feel like it's less edited because you don't want to miss out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But like each combat one, I feel like they edited it down a bit.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, actually, because you can even see in some behind the scenes videos, because I watched a couple of those for the first show that I watched from Dimension 20. Some of the behind the scenes stuff you saw, like they were around the table looking at rule books and such just to refresh themselves if they needed to, and that wasn't in the episode because I had just watched all of the episodes and I was like, they do edit it down, so it's like, yeah. Anyway, putting the story before the game. Don't put the story before the game. Interesting. I guess you're gonna have to sell me on this one.
Yeah, because the story typically is the game, unless the game doesn't involve a story, like a dungeon crawl.
I suppose, is this going to be just, don't be the author instead of the dungeon master,
Like, don't try to read a book to them?
Yeah, I wonder.
Story before the game. This is something you see in D&D shows all the time, and for good reason. The audience is there not only to see the performance of the DM and players, who might also be professional actors, but they are also there to see an amazing story unfold. For instance, you might see something like this in a D&D show. Out of nowhere, an NPC shows up, uses power word kill on a player's character, and the character is dead. And the player is like, cool, I'm okay with that, that's not a big deal. And then later, something happens where that PC is resurrected and comes back in an amazing way. And an awesome story results. So you think that's pretty cool, I should try this in my own game. And then you find out that the player is absolutely pissed when their character...
Okay, alright, so we've skipped some steps.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, so I agree that if you just see something, and again, just fucking emulate it without any context as to how this could even come about, like...
You're a child.
Yeah, you are literally, you have no idea what you're doing, so I guess at that point, what can I do but tell you don't do that, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you even pay attention to, and not everybody does, I'll give you this, it's not inside the show itself, right? But you can go and listen to the interviews that they did after the sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And for some of those kinds of things, they literally talk about talking with the player. Matt would talk with whoever died just to make sure that they wanted that one to stay dead or to die or to get resurrected. Because it's really important that your player is on board with everything that you're doing.
I remember when you guys went to the Bubble Lounge, and I pulled you aside, and all I did was say, trust me.
Right.
And you're like, okay. And then I had a drunk succubus fucking non-lethally punch Mez into the fucking wall for 77 damage for a fucking cartoon joke where it reveals that this succubus gets hyper strength when she's fucking drunk because it's the classic anime thing where, a drunk girl is like fucking ridiculously powerful for no reason.
Right.
And I made sure that he was okay with that first.
Yes, exactly. So, like,
because the other character's like, holy shit.
yes, that is what happened. But yeah, it's so. I hope he says that you need to, because if he just waves it away as don't do it, just don't do it, then I will be really pissed because it's like, well, you can.
The other thing that's really getting me, you might have heard me like choking back a laugh. Imagine if somebody went to see The Lion King and was like, yo, Simba's dad died. So that means I need to kill their parents in every story. Except now that's just describing regular, normal Disney now. People love this movie. It must be because Simba's dad is dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that was a powerful moment. Now kill out all the other parents in stampedes.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, right.
Spoilers for when How old is that movie?
It is from the 90s, I think. Is it?
It's like the 90s or the early or late 80s or something.
Let me make sure. Now I need to know.
Or like mid 90s. I don't remember.
No, wait. The newest one came out in 2019. Yeah, 1994.
Okay, yeah. Fuck off. That one doesn't count.
I know. That's why I had to mention it.
Yeah, I know. Fucking hell.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Imagine if someone had to be in one of those shows while they were in the middle of coughing their lungs out for a month. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That would suck. That would suck so bad.
Imagine if in your campaign you have a voice that murders your throat and you have to do that every time for big monsters or a specific character.
Yeah.
Imagine.
But then your player realizes, oh wait, I can help you. and then
I'm like,
so.
no, I like doing this. I love doing my Gravemind voice. I just hate that it fucking murders. I can do my heavy Skaven voice more than I can do that shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
It's really weird.
Gets killed with no chance to survive, and the game implodes. You ask yourself, why didn't this work? And I think that we sometimes forget that on D&D shows, the dungeon master and the players can plan and conspire about things like this. All for the sake of the story they want to tell for the audience. It may or may not be scripted, I don't know, I'm not privy to that information.
Yeah, okay. Even in the now, here's the thing where you're given a little bit of a tinfoil hat for some reason. Even in and again, this is not necessarily in the show, so you might not be privy to the information, and you shouldn't have to look to another source unless you want to learn more about stuff. But it's not necessary for you to understand the show itself. But in some of the interview stuff, a lot of the times, at least for Critical Role, Matt would just say, yeah, I just gotta, I don't know what you guys are gonna do half the time, you know?
Yeah,
because that's how it works, you know? You can plan this shit out and stuff, and it's just, you need to make sure that they're okay with what you're gonna do, if it's gonna be something drastic like this, or anything that's going to really, affect their character, specifically. You need to make sure that they're okay with it, absolutely. But other than that, you don't need to script it out, right? That's not, it'll happen as it does, you know? It'll just be a thing. I remember the character Mollymock, I think it was, in Critical Role, he died. Spoilers, I guess. He died. And he's
totally gonna watch that.
I know, right? And so it was a whole thing. It was actually a pretty great scene and everything. And then basically they I think in the thing after, they were talking about oh yeah, we were talking about it, and no, I think that's where his story is gonna end. We could, he could revive or whatever, but now he's out there, he's in the ground, and maybe somebody else could have him in their story, because he's died before and come back. Because that was his whole thing. He had a past that he died and came back from, apparently. Never got resolved and everything, but it was interesting. But he was just yeah, and if somebody uses the same setting or whatever, then maybe they find him and he comes back. Who knows, right? Which, very cool. And again, he talked with Matt about it just to make sure that he didn't want to keep playing the character, because if you want to keep playing the same character, it's not hard for a quest to happen to revive the character,
or just make their cousin.
Well, if you want it to not be stupid.
Are you saying my cousin's stupid?
Yes.
Well,
but you know what I mean.
Really argue with that.
You know what I mean, though. It's not contrived. It actually works, into the story, and maybe even, as I've said before, it endears the characters towards each other a bit more, right? To sacrifice themselves in order to, or at least go through hardships in order to get this person back, So, imagine doing accents for characters. That's right.
Fucking racist.
Racist, exactly. Yeah,
Christ,
that's right.
man. Ugh.
But I can tell you that D&D shows prioritize the story that the audience will experience far above the fun of playing the game. Again,
That you have nothing to base that off of. You have nothing to base that off of, because I don't know if you noticed, but literally every single person on those shows does not have a bad thing to say. Now you could tinfoil hat that and go, oh, but they wouldn't because they're a part of, and they want to be on the show. It's like, no. They would say something to their DM. Okay? They would, because they give a shit. All right? It is not like, yes, they're a big company and everything, and they're doing this for entertainment, but at the same time, they're also friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
they have been friends for like decades.
Yeah. So let's give them a little bit more. Like, I'm not gonna, bow down to the corporation, but they don't feel corpo to me, okay? Yeah. They really don't. At least to that degree. So, why even entertain the thought?
They are corpo in so much as they get money from a corporation to do stuff, and that's about it.
Exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure that if a corporation tried to force them to play a game that they wanted to do or have story elements that they wanted, they would just fucking leave and just go back to playing for themselves.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, they've taken the sponsorships that they've taken because they wanted to. I don't think it's been anything that's been like, oh, we need to,
Yeah,
maybe.
Because they have their own jobs. They still get work.
That's the other thing. But, even if it wasn't, like, even if it was about, we need this for the thing, it's like, okay, well, so they do a couple of things here and there that are for it, but again, you have nothing to go for that, right? It was, the Wendy's one. The Wendy's controversy, that was a thing.
The Wendy's controversy?
Yeah, because Wendy's came out with a little D&D 5e supplement thing, and they played it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was sponsored by Wendy's because it was Wendy's, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking Wendy's. They made it, so fuck it.
So, but that was the whole thing, and I think people got mad about it because it was Wendy's for some reason.
Wendy's is fucking hilarious. I don't know what they're fucking...
Well, Wendy's is good as well. I miss Wendy's.
Yeah,
but
come on.
At the same time, it's like, oh, but it's, it's Wendy. You're not a corporation, and yet you're with a corporation, right? And it's like, yeah, I get that, but...
If we played the fucking Nerds campaign and we were sponsored by Nerds, I don't think anybody would give a shit. And I don't understand why they would.
I'm sure somebody would, but at the same time, it doesn't matter, Yeah. And at the same time, if we didn't want to do it, we wouldn't. And that's how I feel that they, it would have happened for them, for sure. Yeah, are they a corporation, or is their company privately owned? I think it's privately owned. I'm just saying in general because it's that weird, what he's putting forward is that weird, nebulous, you don't know what they're thinking and what they're doing kind of thing that I see for corporations and such. And to be fair, it's any business really that you could put that towards. And I think I would rather call them entrepreneurs than I would a corporation, but I don't know what it is legally put as, because it might be
freelancers.
Well, no, because they have their own they might have a limited liability, an LLC, a limited liability corporation or something. I don't know, or is that
limited liability clause? I would assume.
Is it clause? Hold on, I can figure this out.
What does LLC stand for?
Yeah. Because I've been trying to make one, but it never lets me. A company. Limited liability company. I think they are a company. I don't know if they are a corporation. Yeah. Out of context quotes for this podcast. Racist. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yo, Alejo, if you're keto, you can order Wendy's burgers with lettuce instead of buns. Last time I had it, it was pretty decent. I could.
There are keto buns.
Well, yeah, I could get some keto buns as well, but I would need to see if the cheese is not American, because American's the worst thing.
Oh, you don't like American cheese?
American cheese is the worst thing that you can have for cheese. It is.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
the worst. And also, yes, I hate American cheese. It tastes awful.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I've never minded it.
It tastes real bad to me. Every time I have it, I just want. It just sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, what you could do is you could just get like some nice cheddar or some nice like white cheddar slices, and then order the hamburger, and then
That's
just
true.
put that on while it's
That's
still
true.
hot.
Let's not let's not find ways for me to reignite my addiction to Wendy's, please. No,
keto is already expensive enough as it is.
That's the thing, right? From Google, it looks like an LLC. Publicly traded corporations are the ones that get really bad about not acting like humans. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, actually, you know what? Speaking of, I learned this during something. And apparently, Larian, Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
They are privately owned. Thank fuck.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yeah, so you don't actually ever really need to worry about them getting sold out to fucking EA or Activision anytime soon.
Unless something catastrophic happens, right?
Yeah, and hopefully I would honestly rather them just dissolve rather than sell out to them.
Yeah.
I think they have too much pride in their work to do that.
Yeah, I would think so. Swiss cheese supremacy. Swiss cheese is good, for sure.
I'm not a huge fan of Swiss.
I prefer... Ooh, I think I prefer cheddar. I think cheddar is my go-to.
Like on a burger?
Just in general, really, cheese as a cheese.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure, though. I'd have to find out. I'm sorry, is there a thing in our server that is a meme that I... Yep,
it's a couple shirts.
Please support the brand.
Yep, the brand.
Sorry, so I gotta show it. Please support the brand.
And just brand.
And the other one is just brand without that. That's good.
And then we need one that is also the laser eyes, big long leg crab with the
silence brand.
Silence brand, yeah.
Their primary goal is to run a successful show where the audience is entertained and comes back for more. On the other hand, when you run a D&D game for your players, your friends, your primary goal is to run a successful game where you and your players are entertained and come back for more. Usually we don't have audiences, so we don't care about the audience. So you can't just focus on story above all else. You must balance the story with the fact that everyone showed up to play a game and that they want to have fun playing that game. Okay, Luke, you might say, should I just conspire with my players and plan things that will happen? To which I respond,
no one would say that.
Yeah, nobody does that.
No! Not unless, of course, you want to ruin their game experience. Just take away all the mystery and suspense. Actions and decisions and die results during the game wouldn't matter anymore because you've already planned out what's going to happen. And at that point, one might wonder if there's even a point to playing the game if you've already planned out what's gonna happen. Now, even if on D&D shows the Dungeon Master and players are not conspiring and planning certain things, and I'm sure they do at times, and other times they probably don't, the player at least knows that the Dungeon Master has something cool in mind, so they just roll with it. Now, you could try to count on this at your own game table, but even then, players might still blow up over things they feel that just aren't fair or deserved. Also,
so maybe I'll say it, but just if that were to happen, then just have a conversation and you can retcon it as much as you need to. Like, it's not that big a deal, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, don't.
I mean, hell, that actually happened to me in one of the really, really early sessions.
Yeah.
Muzzle had a thing where he wanted to use like drugs.
Right.
Like hell drugs.
Yeah.
And I misheard Brogan, who was Muzzle's player, say that he wanted to go find a drug dealer that he knew.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. I remember this.
And so I kind of misunderstood that statement, and I sent him to the drug dealer that I had, basically planned. So because he's like, I want to make this character, and he's going to do drugs. Like, okay, I'll make a drug dealer that he can, get drugs from. And I sent him to the drug dealer, but I misunderstood, and so the drug dealer and him were not acquainted, and so the drug dealer was like really belligerent.
Yes.
And he was like, well, wait, why is this happening? I said I wanted to go one that I knew. I'm like, oh shit, okay, so you already, that's my bad. I literally said, we're rewinding time, and then just reset the whole conversation, and it was a lot more, like, hey, what's up? I want more. Okay.
Yeah, it worked better because it was what he actually was going for sure.
Yes.
But yeah.
And so like, if you do something and then, like, it needs to change, or, you know, if you want to implement some sort of, like, drastic measure or something and it doesn't go over well, you can retcon stuff.
Yeah, you have that power.
Yeah.
So, I hope he at least says something like to that effect, because
I sure hope so.
it's just one of those things of, like, yeah, you can fuck up, but you also can fix it, because you are,
and it's super easy because it's imagination.
Yes.
If you fuck it up, you just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was a fuck up. That did not happen."
Yes, exactly.
And then people are just like, "Okay, it's gone."
Yeah. Actually, my primary goal for running tabletop games is to make my friends question why they are my friends. Good.
Ah, shit, they're on to me.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
Don't forget that the players and Dungeon Master on these shows know they are on a show, often live, and thus they are going to keep their cool because they're usually professionals, even if they don't like something that's happening.
Okay. Stop with these fucking cutaway gags. Not cutaway gags. Fucking just whatever.
No, it's a cutaway gag.
Yeah. Anyway, so they don't keep their cool, like, a lot of the time, just in the sense of they get really excited or, you know, get really into character and they do shit, you know, that's high energy. They never are angry at each other because there's no reason for them to be.
Yeah.
Like, you never see that, because it's not because they're on a show.
Yeah.
Like, we're attributing everything to it being on a show, and because they know that. And that's so silly to me, because I don't see why that should affect, like, if this was fucking, public access television, then yeah, they would have to, like, put on the happy face all the time and never really do anything, you know?
Have you ever seen reality TV? Come on. The most real shit ever.
Right, exactly. But, like, that's a good example as well of just, like, that's all scripted and shit. So, like,
yeah,
they have to do that because they need to keep those fucking people in their seats watching the show, because it's fucking awful otherwise.
Yeah,
and because of it too.
Manufactured drama and shit.
Yes. Yeah, so it's awful regardless. But the big thing about at least these kinds of actual plays, I've never encountered one where I've thought, oh, this is something where they are consciously, like, deciding everything because it's a show. Like, even with all the actual plays that I've listened to via just audio ones from, like, Spotify and such, even the ones that are more heavily edited in the sense of, like, they have their lines and stuff that they've, you know, put together in such a way, it doesn't matter, because even then you have some people saying things that aren't, like, a line, they're just them talking as well. And, like, no one ever acts like it is, unless it is specifically a radio drama, you know, or something that is scripted entirely, right? Some good ones out there for sure that I've listened to, but those ones I know are made to be scripted, while every single actual play that I've listened to is not at all. And they don't, like, it. Sure, they know that they're on camera just because they are, quote unquote, on camera or on the air or whatever. But that, again, it doesn't affect them, right? Hell, sometimes they make jokes because of that. You know, they know that they're on it, and they're just like, yeah, we should cut that out. We should cut that out, you know? And then the other guy's like, no, that's staying in because you asked more to it afterwards.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, shit.
Yeah, it's like when I fucking did my horrible joke in Fatal Frame, and I'm like, editor, get that. Get that.
That's right. Get that out of here.
Get that out of here. Remove it.
So, like, it's so weird to assume that all of these people are just playing to the camera all the time.
Yeah,
it's so weird. And I guess you could say equally that me assuming that they aren't is also weird, but I don't know. I don't have any evidence to support him saying that they are only acting towards the camera because, again, I can pull that evidence from the interviews and such that they do afterwards, and you could say, oh, they're just saying that because, you know, they're making they need to, you know, play nice and everything.
They need
like
ratings,
I said,
or whatever.
yeah, you know, whatever it might be that you give me, and I go, but does that not look like a natural conversation to you that's happening right here? Because most of the time, in fact, all of the time, it is.
Yeah, and like it's weird to immediately, like, just like you're saying, it's weird to immediately assume that just because they're on a show, they're doing it. Why do we? Is it that hard to assume that these people are actually like halfway decent people and they're not just fun, you know, living a lie?
Yeah. It's weird to assume that they are acting.
Yeah, like at all times. It's very strange.
At all times, because I don't need to give more examples of it, but like I remember specific points of Critical Role where like a big thing happens and then they all just like afterwards they're like, oh, you know, like they get hyped about it because it happened and it's over, but it was fucking like energy that they have expended because it was fucking intense, you know?
Yeah, because it was fucking intense. I remember when we did the big reveal. You remember the big reveal?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yo!
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It happens, and you can't, I just don't know how you can look at these shows, like, yes, they are shows in just the technical sense. They aren't scripted actors fucking reading their lines from a teleprompter or anything, you know? Like, I don't see how you could equivocate that. Equivocate?
That would be fucking funny. Could you imagine that as an April Fool's Day joke and they all just have, like, scripts?
Yes, that would be great. That'd be hilarious. Yes.
Man.
I know I'm harping on this a lot, but, like, it's just so weird.
What are you doing down here?
Oh, give me an animal. Yay! Cat.
This is Mommy 2, also known as Noki.
Hi, I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
Hello.
Number 6, temporary character.
The relatability factor is off the charts, brother.
I know.
Off the charts.
God, the Zoomers really like him. Maybe.
Well, he's popular, so yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That are planned to be killed off. This works really well if the cast members are planning out a really cool story they want to unfold. It works less well if you're playing a game. And why? Well, you have the Dungeon Master on one player who are basically metagaming and planning to get the character killed. However, everyone else at the game table doesn't know that is the plan, so they are fighting really hard to keep the character alive. You see how this might be frustrating? Can you see how this might ruffle some feathers?
Where are you pulling this from for one of the shows?
Yeah, because I've heard of this.
Who's a temporary character that is just being planned on being killed on one of the shows? I only know of this because of other people's stories of games that they've played, where the DM has forced this upon them.
Yeah, because it's like, oh man, the character, like, I have heard of this where it's like, hey, the player comes to the DM, it's like, hey, I don't really want to play my character anymore. Can we get rid of him? Can we kill him?
Yeah,
and
well, that's
like, yeah,
fine.
Okay, sure.
That's
and then the problem is the other players don't know and they're like fighting like hell. It's kind of like with fucking what the fuck Brogan's character, the Hadozi, the useless shit.
Oh yes.
Kalungo, that's
Kalungo.
it. Where it's like, why didn't you just let me die? No, fuck you. Yeah, you have to live.
That's right. That was so funny.
Yeah. So like I've heard of this, but this is a non-fucking issue, man.
So this is I don't know why it's here. Because it's not something that I've seen. Because every temporary character that I've seen in one of these shows is temporary because their character is going to be resurrected, or they haven't created the character they really want to play yet, or they just need another body in the party for whatever they're doing because they don't have the other characters available yet, you know, or somebody isn't there on that day, you know, all of those kinds of reasons for sure. And none of them, I have never assumed that any of them are meant for death because most of them survive.
Yeah.
And they
survive and then they just leave.
And they leave so that the other character can come in. Like, I need an example because I don't know where you're pulling that from Critical Role or Dimension 20 or High Rollers or fucking whatever it is that you're going for. Where is this from? Or is this just the thing that's in the zeitgeist that you just wanted to talk about? In which case, just talk about the things. Don't just attribute them to the shows.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I don't get it.
The other players find out later that the DM and the one player were planning it all out. Again, what works on a show doesn't always work in a real D&D game. This is yet another example of prioritizing the story over the game. Number 7, allowing PvP.
Because that just seems like it was, you watched a TV show.
Yeah.
And you got the idea, like, oh, this guy's gonna die because this is his purpose. Like, he's here for the scene that he dies. Like, which, never great, really. Because you're like, oh, they're giving me all of their sad backstory now. Oh, they're gonna die. Oh, they're so dead.
It's the death flags. You
Yes.
know? It's like, oh man, I can't wait to go home to see my wife and dog back. He's fucking dead.
Yeah.
You never say that shit. And in fact, it'd be pretty funny if someone did say that and constantly raise those death flags and then they just live.
They just live forever. Yeah. It'd be so funny. But
yeah,
like,
because
that's a parody at that point,
Yeah.
right? Like, but I don't know where
and it's God. Never mind. That's a whole other rant.
You're good.
Or high tension moments between characters.
Don't
Seriously?
allow PvP or high tension moments between characters.
God,
No.
off,
Is this
man.
gonna be because you're gonna get people to be upset at each other or something? Is that what
Yeah,
we're gonna go
right.
for? Because like we're not mature enough to get these situations down or have a like if he's talking about maybe have a conversation between people, that's a good thing to talk about. Like whenever these popular people talk about talking, then I'm okay.
Yeah, but they almost never do.
They almost never do. That's the thing. But we've had a couple of instances at this point which I've been like, okay, that's more than nothing, and I like that.
Yeah,
But
I have to scramble to pick up the breadcrumbs that you're scattering.
I just hope that that's where we're going for this one too, please.
Yeah.
Audiences love seeing conflict and tension between protagonists. It's a classic feature of most movies and TV shows. So if you're running a D&D show, it's a good idea to include some of this. The audience will eat it up. However, it's also a great way to ruin your D&D game. And why would that be, Luke? Because PvP, player versus player, has like a 90% chance of either ruining your D&D game or at the very least getting players pissed off at each other. It just does, and thousands of experienced game masters can attest to this. I may have made up the 90% figure, but it's a lot. It doesn't always happen.
Well, I mean, hey, it's good to know that he's just bullshitting that.
It's good to know that he's saying it doesn't always happen as well. Finally there.
Fucking Christ, man.
To have a super mature group where it rarely happens. However, it usually does. There is a very good reason that I don't allow PvP in my games, and that I recommend you don't either.
Okay. So, okay. I'll at least concede that he didn't give a horrible take on it.
Yeah.
He at least said it doesn't work for most. So, you know, and if you have a mature group, he at least said, if you have a mature group, that it usually doesn't happen. So I'll give him that. That's fine. It's just okay.
Yeah.
I guess bare minimum is good.
Yeah, right.
If we're gonna give us a bunch of a bunch of cutaway little things to be relatable and stuff, and we're gonna just not go that deep into this point at all because of it, then fuck me, I guess. You know, like, feel like it deserves a little bit more discussion, but sure, whatever. Let's just say it and move on. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because video can't be over 15 minutes, I promise.
Yeah. There's still that time limit.
Letting
on YouTube,
players
don't you
and
know?
or characters talk endlessly. This is the classic moment where basically the characters are just talking non-stop in character with each other, or the players are discussing non-stop something, and the Dungeon Master doesn't step in to move the game along. Often it's only a couple of players doing this, and everyone else is bored and wants to get on with things. This might be entertaining if you're watching a D&D show, but if you're playing an actual game...
So know your table is my first thing.
And then don't let them roleplay for too long. We can't have too much of that.
I understand. So here's what you do. If people want to roleplay, what you do is you start prodding other people to join in or cut away to other people so they can roleplay as well. You know?
Well, I mean, the problem with that would be it could be that they're having like an actual real in-depth discussion on something, and so you couldn't really, it might be a problem to cut away unless they find a point where they feel comfortable stopping.
Well,
that way they don't lose their train of thought.
Well, I mean, at that point, at the same time, I feel like it's fine to give them a moment to pause in general, just because at the same time, I understand wanting to get people to be able to finish their thoughts and go through the whole, discussion or whatever it is. But at the same time, leaving other people for too long does feel a little like something you shouldn't be doing. And so I think, legitimately, you can cut back to them and they can continue having their discussion for sure. It's just you need to involve other people and make sure that everybody's, at least if they don't want to be involved, that they can either do something else with their character in the moment, or they're fine with sitting there listening. You got to just make sure, give them a little, hey, so while this is happening, what are you doing? And they go, oh, I'm just sitting and listening. It's like, oh, cool. Or
just hanging around.
Just hanging around. But it's one of those courtesy kind of things, right? Just to make sure that everybody's still okay and going with it, because I've said it before, I love it when my players just fucking talk. That's fine. I love it so much. I love listening to them, and they have their little discussion about whatever the fuck it is, and I go, sick. We're in it. We're in the world. We're doing it right now. This is great, And I will let that go forever if I can. That's fine with me. If they want to talk forever, I love it. But I also know, if one person isn't in that conversation, then I want to know that person is okay
isn't
with that.
Getting fucking bored,
exactly,
and annoyed,
right? Exactly. I want to at least make sure, because if they are, then it's like, okay, guys. So I love it. I love what we're doing here,
but we're kind of he's out in the cold. So yeah, okay, that's that. I understand that better now.
Yes, exactly. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to add a new member of the League of Doom to when I get home. Hey, go for it, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, he's always been kind of annoying.
Yeah, he's always kind of been on there.
Yeah.
Then often what happens is you have a couple players doing this, talking back and forth and discussing things, even if it's in character, and everyone else at the game table gets bored after a while and just wants to get on with things. Number 9, setting your
but we're just gonna say that most of the time that people just get bored, but we're not gonna say anything about how
you might mitigate it.
Or improve the situation like I did. Legitimately, we have gotten to the point of now we're just listing these off because we need to stop. We're done. We gotta end the video soon instead of going into each of the points.
Yeah.
Because we need to keep their attention. If we make the video too long, they won't watch it.
Well, dude,
all the way.
People watch TikTok, and TikTok is what?
Yeah. 5 seconds?
I think so.
1 minute?
People can't watch a video for that for this long. Especially since he's trying to appeal to the childs.
Yes, I know, and I just...
Yeah.
I hate the state of content that we are in. That's just what it always boils down to.
Expectations too high. Expecting all of your players to show up for every session. Expecting players to cheer after every monster goes down. Expecting yourself, the dungeon master, to be
So I'll give him for the showing up thing. I would expect them to if we haven't said otherwise. Yes.
Yeah.
But if something comes up, for us, something will come up every now and then, or a lot of the time, and so we have to postpone. And I understand, and that's fine. But now we're going into fucking insanity of praise after everything you do. Yeah. Stop.
Yeah. Why haven't you been doing that for me?
'Cause I hate you.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah. Did you know?
I hate me too. Yeah, I hate Me Too. Don't worry.
Yeah. Me Too. Oh my god, I hate Me Too.
Oh, dude, we should start a band.
Dude, yeah.
As awesome as the pro DM you watch. You can't expect yourself or your players, who all have real life jobs and responsibilities, to put on the same performance.
Oh, we aren't talking to children.
The fuck?
Oh.
So we're talking to man children. Got it.
No, that's like what?
Yeah, right?
Where?
Dude, I don't fucking know where we are now.
Okay, where are we?
Here we are.
As professional dungeon masters and players. And you wouldn't want to anyway. Are you trying to put on a show? Or are you just trying to have a fun D&D game? Like, what are your goals? Now, clearly there are things that can be learned from D&D shows and pro dungeon masters. There are a plethora of videos out there that will break down things that pro DMs do as examples of how to be a good dungeon master. So they're definitely doing a lot of things right, and we can learn from those things.
I agree.
So observe and try some things, but be aware that not everything is going to work in your own game. So be willing to try, but then throw it out when it doesn't work. It's not a knock on you, the dungeon master, or the players, or necessarily the pro DM. Your table is just different, that's all. And you're
that's a good point. That all of that was good.
It just took 14 minutes and 21 seconds of a 14-minute and 37-second video to get to it. What a shame.
That was good.
That should have been the first fucking thing you said.
Yes! God damn it. Get your fucking, what is it? Just hook them with that, and then if they don't stay through the whole thing, then you at least got them with that one really good thing.
Yeah, goddamn.
Oh my god. Hey, a good dungeon master? No, I'm not here to be a dungeon gooder. That's right.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm here to be a dungeon master.
a game, not a show. Click on the screen now to learn 21 ways
players
ruin D&D games, or to back my Layers and Legends Kickstarter before the project closes.
I hope that was
21 ways players run.
No bacon comments.
I don't want to
talk about bacon
We're not
every
gonna watch
second,
that.
guys.
Thankfully,
Yeah, no, I don't.
Thankfully, the next one that we have from him is only 7 things.
Okay.
So, okay. The one good point, the really good, solid point that I can agree with every single aspect of. Every single aspect.
Just one.
The one that is at the very fucking end. For those people that don't watch the whole fucking video that you are appealing to.
Yeah. Christ.
Retention rate is the thing that you need. I suppose, well, let's be fair. Retention rate is different for something that is 15 minutes rather than our 6 hours. So
yeah, it's true.
So to be fair, I don't know your metrics, so never mind. I will retract that. But regardless of the fact, I will at least say that you really should have put that at the beginning so that you could have fucking hooked them in with that, or just left anyone who just takes a second to watch a fucking 10-second, or really it was like 15 to 20 seconds of you just saying the one really good point, so that they get that much at least. Because they're gonna give you maybe 30 seconds if they don't give a shit, right?
Hell, you know what? If you cut out all the rest of the video, just said that, and then made it a YouTube short, it probably would have done even better.
Oh, it probably would, for sure.
Which is hilarious.
For sure.
God, I hate that is the case.
For sure. I haven't even thought about any of those YouTube short things, and we have a couple of things that probably would be okay for that, but scouring through the footage for all of that shit at this point,
God, fuck that.
I have so much that I could go through. I have all of it.
Yeah, you have the entire...
I have a backup of all of our shit. Oh my god. But, like, okay.
You poor sad man.
I have so much to do. I have no time. And also I'm writing at the same time, which is actually taking up a lot of my attention because I'm really into it right now.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Anyway.
I wrote a page and a half last night.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's like big. I don't know how much you write, but goddamn.
I wrote, so the first...
Like, when you write, how much do you write?
Well, so I can only go by the metric that I've done so far, and that was the first chapter thing that I did. I had some stuff there, but I basically rewrote all of it, and it came out to 2,810 words. Which I don't know how many pages that is.
I mean, you're writing in a Word document, right? Or no?
It's in a Google Doc.
Like an actual, like a text thing.
Yeah, it's in a Google Doc. Oh, you know what? I can look at it, actually. What am I talking about? It's like right in my Google Doc that I can look at it. But that I did that, and then I did another bit, which I need to look at, because I don't know how much it is. But that was over the next day, I think, that I did the second part. So this one was 1, 2, 3, 4 and a third.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I wish I could write that many pages at a time.
I couldn't stop. I needed to get that out there. And to be fair, some of it was already there that I just had to like slot into different places, but a lot of it I did have to rewrite.
Yeah,
like a lot of it. And
Man.
then the second one, what am I up to? Oh, I closed it. What the fuck? The second one is, so far, it's nowhere near done. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a third. Wow.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. I wish I could write that much when I write.
No, that's the same one. Sorry.
Oh,
my God. Okay. I see what I did. There it is. 1, 2, 3, and a third.
Jeez. That's still a lot, man.
Yeah, I just
1.5 to 2 is like huge for me.
That's fair. To be fair as well, the other thing that I did while I did that was went back through and like did editing of like grammar and shit as well. So not all of that was writing, but like I still wrote all of that. Shit, yeah, that is a lot now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Jesus Christ, like, I need to take a break.
Jealous. No, like, dude, if you have it in your head, do it.
Yeah, no, I know.
And then also something you need to do whenever you have an idea, text that shit to yourself.
Yeah. Well, usually I just write it down in the Word doc so that I have it there.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I mean like if you are like not in the mood to write and an idea comes to you.
Yeah. I have a specific Word doc for ideas that I keep as well. Yeah. Anyway, enough about the fucking writing. Yeah. Hello, bros. I'm late. Hey, Timothy.
Hello.
Welcome. You've missed the first garbage.
Yes.
So much of that was plugging his other stuff too. Well, I'm fine with that. Like, it's he worked hard on making, his books, and he deserves to be able to plug that shit, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna make content like that, then absolutely.
Yeah,
because we are both doing that, and we know it's not easy.
No. So yeah, he can do that all he wants, but it was the one time in the middle kind of the video that he did the actual plug for it. The other times that I have a problem with are just his cutaways to be relatable. And it's like
the
most of the time
relatable. Yeah,
most of the time for that I'm just like, you could have just not said anything and I would have been fine. But
I should say number sign relatable.
Yes, that's right.
Because fuck you.
Sounds like I missed something big. It's just anger. That's all.
Basically, he had a 15-minute video and he had a very good point in the last like less than 15 seconds.
Yes.
And it was annoying that he had his only really good point like right at the tail end.
Yeah. Quick question. A lich's phylactery can be anything, right?
Yes.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Effectively, yeah. If you look at the rules, it needs to be like a specific size. Rules is written, but you can make it into whatever you want. Hell, yeah. I made a very, very unique phylactery.
That's right. Alejo, while you're having a crisis over your lack of time, don't think about the Delta Green episodes you haven't uploaded yet.
Hell, for fuck's sake.
And all of the movie stuff that we're doing that I still have to even look at, and it's I have to edit down like 2 to 3 hours worth of things into maybe 1 hour at the most, just because there's a lot of, and for the fucking Kong versus Godzilla one, that's 5.5 hours that I have to do something. If editors weren't so like expensive, I would source that out, but nobody that I know of at least does anything above like 60 minutes of footage, you know?
Yeah.
So like there's no way that I can source that out to anybody that I would feel okay with that, you know? Anyway. Plus it would feel weird to me at the same time. I would get used to it if I could do it to like an actual like dedicated editor, and I would do that if we had the money as well. But I don't have that.
You know, you should give us money so that I can sleep.
If you want to donate to us so that we can get an editor, so that we can get things out faster and more efficiently, hey, I will actually be okay with promoting that for sure. I just don't know of any editors, so really it's a moot thing at this moment. I don't know how to find an editor that would do hours of content work, you know?
Yeah, and like if they did, they would be fucking. You'd be paying out the goddamn nose.
It would be worth it but also I would need to vet them, right? Like it's a whole process, right? And we just don't have the money for that. It's not a thing. Anyway, it was better than Garibay, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, miles and miles and miles better.
No question. Absolutely, yeah. In conclusion, to live is to suffer. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's for my lore. Oh, for the phylactery? Hell yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're at a midpoint. It's been a minute since we did a midpoint thing. Let's do a midpoint thing. Wow. Speaking of money.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Wow.
Like
it
that.
actually is relevant. Where I need to okay, there we go. So hey, you out there.
Yes, me?
As well as you. Yeah.
Oh.
You. Right there. You could give us money.
I won't, but
Okay. I'm just saying you could.
Yeah.
So
and I'm just saying I won't.
Well,
so.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying you could. That's all. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah. Just saying.
Anyway, so we have ways to donate to us. There's direct donations as well from like a PayPal thing on our site, but these are the two main ones that are more at least a little bit more reputable, I guess. I don't know. I feel like
mainstream?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's probably a better word. Mainstream. We have a Patreon and we have a Ko-fi. Both of them have the exact same perks and the exact same tiers, so you can donate as little as $1 a month if you would like to, and as high as $15 a month. Or hell, you can go over to the Ko-fi and donate just one time for however much you want to. Like that's a thing as well, just like PayPal could do, but this time it's through Ko-fi, and I don't know, it's Ko-fi. It's cool. And yeah, we have a few patrons, table flippers, if you will. And yeah, big thank you to our tier 4s, that being Draco Kraken, Mog Zero, Rick aka Unit Rico, Slazer, and Steely, who've been with us for years at this point.
Like the whole time.
Like the whole time, mostly, yeah. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
I just every time I'm like, holy shit! Like,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Big thanks.
Thanks, but why?
I would do the same if I enjoyed something that much. And technically, I guess I do because I dedicate my time and money to this. So
yeah, that's true.
You know. Anyway, and then of course a thank you to our tier 2. That's Crimson Rose Armok. Oh, thanks, Lux. And of course a thank you to our tier 1 contributor. If you get $1, you just don't get a shout out, but you get to access the Discord's, little flipper chat thing. And when we finally are done with Devils and Dice, you will be able to participate in a poll where you can choose the next game that we play, because we have a few choices of those. Each of them's pretty good, and
if it takes forever to get to that point, just blame the other people. I'm usually, well, actually, lately I haven't been as available on Sunday, but it's always been them. It's actually always only ever been Aiden and Brogan. Alejo has always been available every Sunday.
Sometimes I'm not. But that's been in the past, really, more so. It's once we've changed to this current schedule, it's been mostly. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We understands. No ill will towards it at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are in the description if you would like to go and find those and donate to us that way. Of course, going over to our website, which is also in the description. I know, we have a website. Whoa, I haven't updated it for a while.
I bet we use it a lot.
You can find each of the links through that, so you can donate to us that way in all of those cases, as well as get merch and such, as well as get our custom dice through a PayPal payment. And again, as soon as I can actually set up the LLC thing so that I can actually have like a bank account set, then it will also be able to just be done by a card. Honestly, I've been thinking about changing it from this, where I've hosted it so far on I don't remember what the website's called, to putting it over to Patreon, because I think you can now sell stuff through Patreon, so it might be easier to do that.
Yeah, I think you can.
So I'll look into that actually, and I'll update you guys accordingly. I also bought a specifically so I can finally get around to making that promotional video of these dice. I finally bought a little spinny thing. A little thing that spins.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because
now
I was
you
like,
can do that for your minis too.
Oh, that's true. Oh, it has multiple uses. Hey.
Yeah.
I literally only thought about it for the show.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
all 6 minis that you've painted.
Yeah, exactly, right. I haven't painted in so long.
Yeah.
So much I want to do and no time to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. Go do that if you would like, as well as go over to the TeePublic page. You can get our logo, as well as the horror logo we had this year on Whatever You Like through there. I'm gonna take the horror logo down probably after Thanksgiving happens. Probably let's say the week after Thanksgiving, because we'll be in the more Crimbo time. Way. And I do have the Crimbo thing that is the logo for that. That's all set and ready to go. So get excited for that. I also am hoping that delivery for Aiden's Crimbo picture will be in tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. And hopefully it's better than the ones that I've gotten. Not for nothing. I appreciate the work they did, but they've been lacking, unfortunately. But this one was a little bit more costly, and it worked out in the sense of I bought one from somebody else who just never did anything or talked to me, so I got a little kickback, and then I was able to put it towards that instead. So
that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll see that kind of stuff when the Crimbo time comes. December. Wow. That's soon, man. Fall has gone by really quick.
Yeah, it's a fucking shame, dude.
It is.
Because I'm gonna miss this nice weather.
Yeah, me too. Okay. And then, of course, you can go over to Humble Bundle using our link in the description to support us, as well as Tabletop Alliance, a charity that uses tabletop things like board games and D&D and such to do charity work. So, and their link is in the description, so you can learn more about their charity and their endeavors. And anything you buy through that link, whether it be through the store or a bundle or the choice bundle, or hey, you can buy the Super Mario RPG for Switch for $60 already on there. Wow.
Neat.
Neat. Yeah.
You can get it in PDF form.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, go over there using the link. You can support and do the sliders and stuff, and it's really cool. Right now, let's see if there's any specific like book bundles that would be relevant to tabletop stuff, like this 5th edition mega bundle.
Ooh,
what is this? Gygax and Kobold and Friends and More. Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah, Tome of Beasts from Kobold Press.
Very good book.
That's Tome of Beasts 3. Oh.
Yes, that is also a book.
Yeah, Tome of Heroes. Yeah, we got a bunch of cool stuff. So this is all for 5e if you want some 5e materials.
I own them. I'm not affiliated with Kobold Press. I own all of their monster books, and they're all extremely good. They're all like 400 pages of monsters. They're great.
Yeah, so this is pretty worthwhile. Oh, that's a Nerdarchy one. Oh, these are Nerdarchy ones.
Oh,
that's cool. Yeah, I see their little logo thing. I think that's Nerdarchy. Let me talking out of my ass.
Can't have that.
Can't have that. Can't.
How would you even do that?
Oh yeah, author Nerdarchy. Hey, cool. Yeah, super sick. Look at that. So that's one, and then I think I saw like a map thing. No, I guess not. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Oh, weird. Well, it was under software, wasn't it? Yeah, the Cartographer's Vault, a treasury of expertly crafted maps. And a Roll20 bundle. Hey, we got a bunch of stuff for Dungeons and Monsters 3D printable tabletop bundle. Wow, we got a lot of shit. Hey.
Yo.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Horror music. Hey, wait a minute.
Ooh.
I should look into it. Yeah, look at all this shit. Wow. Okay, so go on Humble Bundle. There's a lot of good stuff. Use our link. Help us.
I'm the only one who can include horror music in my campaign.
Hey, no. I have horror things. Hell, if we do a Delta Green again, or if we do
that's right,
a vampire as well.
Yeah,
vampire also can use. In fact, yeah, a lot of good stuff. Anyway, oh yeah, look at these. So go over to Humble Bundle. It's a great site. I love that site. It's one of my favorite sites to get just shit tons of stuff. It's why I have so many games.
Yes. It's 300, yeah? Somewhere in there?
Somewhere in there, yeah. Somewhere
I think so.
Yeah, something.
I'm not going to do the doubling.
No, I know. I was intrigued. You went small.
Yeah, went with the actual number for once. Got to keep you on your toes.
No, you did not.
Oh
no, I will tell you specifically because
I thought it was closer to. I thought it was actually like 300.
No. You what? You think me a mere pauper?
Well, I mean, I'm so used to going so over the top that now
that is fair. Now you've destroyed your knowledge of my game amount. No, I'm at 1,539.
Okay, yeah,
on Steam. Specifically.
Okay, so 1,000 is actually lowballing it. That's hilarious.
Yes.
I could have sworn that it was either 300 or 700.
Oh yeah, no. I think that's probably one of the other guys, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's all the shilling and stuff. What did you people say about our shilling? Oh goodness. 160 episodes. Woo! That's true. This is episode 160. That is
Jesus
true.
Christ.
We've done it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's 160 fucking weeks that we've done this. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
It's 3 fucking years.
Yeah, and we've been doing this for over 4 years now. We're getting close to the start of 5th year, so.
Yeah, Jesus. Oh, yeah, because there are missed episodes and shit.
Yeah, missed weeks. Yep. Where?
Yeah.
Look at that money that Boo made fun of me for giving at the beginning of the podcast. That's right. Yeah. King Boo gives his money with Kofi. That's fair. Yeah.
Yes.
If the money stays in my hands, it will be used for poor life decisions. So this is the preferable option. Ha I see. You're putting the responsibility on me now.
Yeah. How I feel about that.
Was Aiden here at any point? No. He's taking a personal day. He's taking a personal day. Is it too political to associate Thanksgiving with horror? No, because they literally are coming out or have already come out with a new Thanksgiving horror movie called Thanksgiving Killing or something like that.
Oh no, that was a long time ago.
Or sorry, this new one is just called Thanksgiving, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is the one with the talking turkey.
Yeah, that's
It is
right.
a meme movie.
It's real bad. Yeah.
It's really bad.
Don't watch
kind of funny though, because like literally the first line in the fucking movie is the turkey sees like a big tittied like pilgrim lady.
That's right.
And the first line of the movie is "nice tits, bitch," and then he fucking kills her.
That's right.
And that's it. It's fucking stupid
it's
as
so
hell.
Dumb. It's so
really dumb.
fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this one is just there's a angry big pilgrim guy who kills people with an axe or something. I don't know.
Paul Bunyan.
No, he wasn't a pilgrim.
I don't care. I'm calling him. It's Paul Bunyan.
I love monsters. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Soon Alejo will have thousands of games. That's true, actually. If I get less than 500 more, I will have 2,000, which is technically thousands.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yeah. And you were worried about your mortality?
I remember, I think I've talked about this before, but back in UMaine, up in college in UMaine, one of our friends was like, so I looked at, like, my game count at that point was not in the thousands, at 1,000, but he was like, I looked at the game, like, time that it would take for you to complete all those games, and you will die before you complete them. And I was like, yup.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
And then it grew like double.
Yep.
Hey, if whoever gets my computer after I'm dead, they can carry on the legacy, okay?
Yeah.
That's fine.
How many of those games are just like absolute shit and like shovelware?
Not many, actually.
Oh, okay.
I have a section dedicated to those because some of them have been like, oh, those look pretty good, and then
this
they
is
came
funny for like 5 seconds.
Or
I loved the game Bird Assassin. That was fun. I played that game specifically because of the bird meme. Seriously.
Fair enough. A few of them are humble bundle games that just were those like other games that were in the bundle with things that I wanted, you know. And some of them were like, oh, this isn't very good, unfortunately. So I guess I'll just play it for a second and then put it in this category of games I don't play for fun. That is literally the category's title.
Yes.
So anyway, enough about my gratuitous amount of games. Let us move on to the second video of the night. This one being 7 things. I'm sorry, let me pronounce it correctly. 7 things pro DMs do that nobody talks about because of the spelling.
Today we're looking at
We're not ready. Yeah, so I don't understand why the title is without capitalization. It makes me upset irrationally. But this is... Oh, I can take the humble partner off. We don't need that associated with this, man. Sorry, humble. God. Yeah. So, we've had 9 things that you shouldn't do that pros do. But these are 7 things that pros do that nobody talks about, presumably meaning that they are things that you should do?
Yeah, and they're like good and they're overlooked.
Right, exactly.
Assumedly.
I don't know of anything that anybody has not talked about any professional DM, because one, I don't know of people talking about professionals, because we don't really talk about them much, because it doesn't matter that they're professional or not, really. We just talk about if you're a DM, you know, because that's really all that matters. If you're going to be a professional DM, I could care less. That's fine. Do whatever you want. You know, if you're going to make money in whatever way, doing it, that's fine. If you're going to create a show to make the money by DMing, that's also fine. Like, there's nothing about it that really does anything for me other than saying, oh, you're a DM. Neat.
Yeah.
You know? Make a phylactery, Alejo, then play the games. I have been trying for years. Committing various acts of absolutely heinous crimes, murdering countless souls to create the phylactery, but it just doesn't work. I don't know if you know this, but I'm not. Magic is hard, okay?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, you're trying to transform into level 100 boss by using the souls of a level 0 hitman, and man, it takes a lot of zeros to make 100.
That's
in fact,
true.
You might say that it is all of them.
I understand my plight now more than ever. I'm going to die. Here we go.
Yes.
Today we're looking at 7 lessons you can learn from professional game masters. Now, I do want to emphasize that not everything will work for every game table. You need to
Thank you.
Finally.
You learned from a year ago. This was only 3 months ago. You learned. I love it. I love character development. That's an arc. Ugh.
It is an arc, hilariously. Christ.
Good.
consider you and your players' preferences as always. However, if you're new to GMing or still figuring out your game master style, these are all things that you can try out. Also,
okay,
you can try out?
Yes.
Holy hell.
Yes. Vast improvement from the last video. He's put this in the front. He's given us the idea of who this is for, what you can do with it, and that it can also not work. Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Crazy. I thought we weren't supposed to clap when we did good things.
I'm sorry. It's just, it overtook me. I couldn't help it.
Fucking Shia LaBeouf standing ovation.
That's right. Greetings, everyone. Hey, Full Metal Dragon. It's been a while. How you doing?
Yes, it has.
Welcome back. Oh.
We'll be showing clips from a variety of amazing game masters, and I will include links down below to the episodes we pull the clips from, just in case you want to watch the entire thing.
Hey,
rules
that's cool.
management. Number 1, know the rules and don't be afraid to explain them to the players so that they understand what they need to do to succeed.
And I can tell you now that you are...
Delta Green! Yes!
It is Delta Green. They do that.
Oh, this is Get in the Trunk. Oh my god.
It's Glass Cannon.
Yeah, I know. The show is called Get in the Trunk. I
okay.
listened to all of this.
Nice.
Or at least season 1 and season 2. I don't know if they have a season 3 yet. But it was one of the good ones that I listened to of a Delta Green thing, which was appropriately insane, silly, and also tense. Like, nice. It worked. I liked it a lot. Very cool.
They also did a one-shot with Seth Gorkowski where they did a Cthulhu adventure as well.
Oh, hell yeah. Cool.
Yep, they did one called Intimate Encounters.
Ooh, oh. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, Glass Cannon does some good stuff. I was listening to their Blades in the Dark thing, and that's how I learned more about Blades in the Dark, of like how it played. Which gave me more like, context that I sorely needed, because you can only get so much from just reading it, right?
Yes.
Which made me turn more towards it. Cool. Oh man, that's awesome. That's very cool.
You're at your own wedding. I can tell you as a player that you are in a dream, and you, in order to do anything, you're going to have to succeed at these rolls. If you succeed at 3 rolls before you fail at 3 rolls, you will know you are in a dream and be aware of like how to deal with it. But for right now, it feels very real to you.
Okay, that example came from Joe O'Brien as he explains the rules for a character recognizing that they're in a dream while running his Delta Green game.
That's something that I have not heard, so I think that's the season that has yet to be put on Spotify. So, which is fine. I am okay with waiting on that, because I would need to download it to listen to it without it taking up like all my data. So fair enough. Cool. Insert claps. Yes. Sorry, Alejo, I can't give you the alternative to a phylactery, digital transcendence. Oh, I can't give you. Oh, I would keep working on it, but the smell of burning monkey brain has become too much as of late. Well, I mean, as long as you get back to it at some point, as long as you can get it on my desk at some point soon.
Before I die. Before
I turn 50. Because I want to be uploaded before before that, even, before 40, before now. But
Yesterday. I want that on my office. On my desk yesterday.
But, as long as you get it to me at some point before I'm decrepit, that's fine. All is well here. My puppy is 1 year old today. Hey, happy birthday to your pup. What's your pup's name?
Pup.
Good for pup.
get in the trunk. Notice that he lays out the rules they'll be using for that specific situation. When something is new for the players or old rules apply in new situations, you need to let players know about the rules that you'll be using. Otherwise, they're just going to be fumbling around in the dark. I do something very similar for skill challenges. When I run a skill challenge in my game, I have an entire video that talks about how to run skill challenges in 5th edition. Probably the exact same thing works in Pathfinder 2 and other games, I'm sure. But anyway, what I do when I'm going to run a skill challenge is I explain to my players exactly how many successes are needed before they reach 3 failures. And sometimes I even tell them what the consequences would be of succeeding or failing that skill challenge. Don't be afraid to explain to your players the rules that you'll be using in situations that are different from the norm and unique. Number 2.
Okay. So overall, it's a yes. I agree with your whole first point. In fact, because it like even if it is like it's been you've gotten or you haven't had the situation in a while, and you just need a refresher. I think is even like when you should talk about rules because. And especially if something like matters, like really does matter in that moment, you need to make sure that everybody understands that this is something that should be taken or not be taken lightly. Because yeah, it like let me think. Something like I suppose the gravity of something like a death save, like I can't think of anything else at the moment, but like something like a death save where if you fail all 3, you die, right?
Yes.
Being able to like explain that to a player is very important, especially if they're new, but even like just to remind somebody who might not like be aware, I suppose, or just to really emphasize that in this moment they could fucking expire,
Yes.
Just like anything that really like bringing them up will always okay, I won't say always. I will say a lot of the time if you bring up a rule, it will emphasize the situation in some way of whether it be very important because of something like death or because of something like this could fail and you could like lose out on this opportunity or like it could be a multiple different things, but it will always get somebody to pay attention, at least I think.
It's kind of similar to the whole why is the DM telling me this must be important. It's kind of like that.
Exactly. When they describe a scene, then it's like, oh, you told me about all these things, why did you tell me that?
Yeah,
it could be that it's just set dressing or a pyramid would last longer than an AI copy. Oh, sure. But for now, I mean, an AI copy would be pretty cool. I could talk to myself and then not be crazy. Haha, promise. Her name is Salali. Ooh. Cool name.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good video. Also, yay, puppy. Yes. So far, pretty good.
Don't be afraid to lift the curtain to increase tension and drama at the table. In this next example, the permanent death of a character is on the line.
So you get 5 hit points back. That's huge because that might actually save you from death here. Unless I miss. Okay.
Well, he just rolled a 30 to hit. This is very high attack bonus.
21 to hit.
Because I'm grappled. Well, because I'm grappled, that hits. I have a 22 AC.
You'll take 5 less damage from this attack because of the defending bone. It's 1d8 plus 11.
Oh my god.
I rolled 7s on the hit and the constrict. Here we go. Just saw a little thing in the chat. Good ruling, Troy. Thank you. Glad you appreciate it. Here it is. It's out. The roll is out of my hand. The life of Halster Price is out of my hands. Another 7.
Oh my god.
Another 18 points of damage. But he takes 5 off of that. So it's, can't do the math fast enough, 13 points of damage.
Halster is at -7 hit points. Constitution score of 14.
14.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're fine. But you are grappled by this thing.
I don't want to just listen to the thing because I'm captivated at the moment because it's just good stuff, right? But this is absolutely a good example of the tension being there because you are telling them, okay, fuck, man, you could die because of this much. Like saying a D8 plus 11 for damage. That's big, Jesus. Man.
Yeah.
Like removing the ambiguity in very tense moments when somebody is near death is definitely a way to make it so that it matters a lot more. For sure. I think that the other ways, of course, is if you're not over a video or Skype. Wow. Discord. Zoom. All that kind of stuff. If you're in person is what I mean.
As long as, like AOL, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. If you're not in an AIM chat room, as long as if you are in person, of course, like if you have a DM screen or whatever, you roll it out in the open, right? Everybody pays attention to the roll, right? Yeah. Because it's like, oh
shit, he's keeping this up. This is above board.
This is above board.
Very important.
Exactly. And it really does lend itself to like, oh shit. Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
really good.
It's super good.
It's something that you can absolutely do very well.
So he's unconscious, grappled, and dying. It is Atticus's turn. He's still cowering in fear, but he can act next round.
Okay, so that was from Troy Lavallee of Glass Cannon Live, as he tells the players the damage rolls he had for the last couple of hits to amp up the tension as he's about to roll damage that could result in the permadeath for one of his players' characters. Now, did you notice that he rolled the die and didn't immediately tell them the result, further amping up the tension? He is a devious genius. Genius. Now, at my games, when I use skill challenges, we'll go back to that example again, I usually tell my players what the DC they're trying to hit is. For instance, DC 15. I reveal that number even though I almost always keep DCs a secret from my players. I do this because a skill challenge is a bit different of a game mechanic, and the players knowing what they need to hit over the course of half a dozen to a dozen rolls increases the drama and the tension. And consequently, it lets them know how many times they've succeeded and how many times they've failed, which if you have one failure, tension increases as you continue to roll. If you got 2 failures, high tension because you know you're just one roll, one failure away from complete oblivion, or whatever the consequences are for failing that skill challenge. So I reveal the DCs and I tell them if it's a success or a failure so they can keep track because that increases tension. By the way, folks,
this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
Like this is just good.
Yeah, this is fine.
Oh my goodness.
This is fucking weird.
This is just a good video so far.
Yeah.
I feel
Very
real
strange.
bad because now I just don't want to watch it. Just because I'm like, yeah, so far, I mean, like, what else can I say?
You made your bed. Time to lie in it.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find things to say additionally, right? Like, I guess would you say that during a skill challenge, if you did not know the DC, would that add or reduce tension?
I think not. I don't think it would remove the tension. I think the tension, for me at least, would come from the situation itself.
Okay.
And what is like happening. So if I'm doing a skill challenge, like where, like maybe we're ascending a cliff as we're being chased by a band of orcs, and like, if you fail, you fall behind and you might wind up getting I think just knowing that would have enough tension for my rolls.
Yeah, because like I was thinking that really the DC is like fine to know. There's nothing wrong with that in this situation. But it's really more of the seeing when people fail. Like that's the part that really makes the tension happen, I think. Sure, the situation's already tense and whatever, because you're needing to do this in order to get out of whatever situation you're in, presumably, if it is a tense situation. Or you could be doing something that isn't tense, but the closer that you get to failure, the more tense it could become, just because it could result in something that's catastrophic, right? As you said before. So I don't think that the DC necessarily adds to it. I think it is just do they do it? Yes, no. And I like
what happened now.
I like the idea of, at least in that situation that you've put forth, of a cliffside where they're coming at you and you could get it. And you fall behind slightly. You know, it's not necessarily a thing of like the group. It is more a individual basis sometimes. Like it really depends on, you know, what we've put forth. But for that one, it would be like, oh, you succeeded, but your friend failed, and so they fall farther behind while you go past them. You know. And then it's like, oh, in those kinds of moments, maybe we could change it into like, oh, do you help each other? You know, like, could you then make it so that you both get to roll and succeed or fail together, you know? And then you could really turn it into like a all or nothing kind of thing. But you give that option. But obviously a skill challenge itself is usually a group thing. Usually. So. This video is a video in a video being watched on a video screen. That's right.
Yeah.
Just talk to yourself and be crazy. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I talk to myself. Oh, don't misunderstand. I do it all the time. I will be in my living room talking to myself about shit, berating myself for missing something. You know, like it's every day, man. I
do the same shit.
I'm a basket case. It's great.
You can even fit in a basket.
Hey. It's funny because you've actually reminded me, because we were talking about height and stuff. I remember one of my birthdays back in high school. I had some friends over, and
when you were 2 feet tall.
No, I've been 5'4" for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What a shame.
That's what happens when both of your parents are 5'3".
Oof. Okay, well, you got the better genes.
I did. Anyway.
Or the high genes, whatever.
I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, so I was with my friends, and one of the things that we did, I don't know why I did this, but they were like, "Hey, you should get in this box." There was a big cardboard box. It was you know, a thing. And they were like, "You could probably fit in that box." And I was like, "Yeah, probably." And they were like, "You should get in the box." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I get in the box, and then they start piling shit on top of the box.
Yeah.
And I was just like, because I just felt this shit like just pushing against me from the top. And so I just ripped the side of it, like punched it out so I could scramble out of the box.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, oh, Jesus, I can fit in that. It was, oh man, I'm small.
It's super good.
I'm very small.
Well, hey, you could be an excellent coal miner.
I could be, dude. Yeah.
Soft
this is the thing.
bones and a tiny frame.
That's right. This is the thing. If I were to shave entirely down to like baby face again, and like everything, you know, cut myself down and just like, I could pose as a child for sure. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Like it would be like 5'4", somebody looks at you, you got no facial hair or anything. And like, if I made it so I didn't have the bags under my eyes, well, no, this could probably add to it. I could probably pass for like a kid. Yeah.
You just got beat up. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm small. I always prefer GMs that roll dice in the open. See, I like rolling dice in the open when it's something that's like we've talked about, something tense, right?
Yes.
But in general, rolling behind the screen, well, this is the thing. I don't mind if I do either way, really, but like I usually just roll behind a screen or something just because. it's there, really.
The thing that I like about screens, and the thing that I wish I could do, but we can't really do it because we're online.
Yeah.
Is I wish I could roll behind a screen, because if it's an important roll and I don't want to fake it, all I have to do is roll the dice, keep my hands away from them, and then just lift up the screen.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to do, because it's like, well, shit. Here you go, lift the screen, and then, there's the proof. And they didn't, they never saw my hands touch the dice after
Exactly, yeah. The screen lift is a definite, like, ooh, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I wish we could do, but it's really, at this point, it's just turn on the camera, but that fucks with everything.
Yeah.
It's like, not the same effect, unfortunately.
Plus, we would need to have a camera aimed at our face, and then also a camera aimed at the dice in order for it to not be annoying as hell.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, that's just...
Yeah.
Someone making Alejo in a box meme? You could, I suppose. That's a shame, Alejo. I was tall enough to ride adult roller coasters at age 3. This is why I have to give you money. Gotta spread the wealth to those less fortunate. JK.
Damn.
At age 3. Hell yeah, there you go. I like this narrative. That's silly. I'd be short too. Hell yeah. Anyway.
Short King gang.
Hell yeah, brother. I don't feel much like royalty, but I'm definitely short. Oh, I've just experienced too many GMs fudge dice results when they use screens. Ah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that'll ruin it for sure. Yeah,
Our next Kickstarter, The Secret Art of Game Mastery, is now
cool.
live. We even have a couple early bird specials with huge discounts that will be available for the first.
He makes a lot of shit.
If you're
I mean, like, good for him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he has like a team as well or what, but he's successful enough to keep doing this shit and make books. So good for him. Wasn't lying about the roller coaster thing. What? At 3?
Holy shit.
At age 3. You were tall enough to ride an adult roller coaster.
That sounds like a mutation, bro.
At age 3? I could understand it at like
10.
10. Yeah, that's where I was thinking. Yeah. But like 3? Jesus Christ.
What the hell? How low was that fucking sign?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Also, I feel sorry for your mom.
But also, like, holy fuck, that's okay. Hey, good for you. Yes, I rode the beast at King's Island. Holy shit.
Jesus, man.
What? Hold on. Now I need to the beast at King. Okay. The beast height requirement. There was a death? Oh, cool.
Nice.
That always happens.
Unnamed 3-year-old dies.
Yeah, really. 5-4 is the, or sorry, not 5-4. 4 flat is the.
Oh,
is the height.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
At 3?
Jesus.
3 years old?
It's very tall.
Are you? I mean, I know you're sure, but like, huh?
That's crazy. Alejo, how does it feel to be as tall as a 3-year-old?
I just found another thing that said my 3-year-old daughter is 4 foot 9 inches.
What the fuck?
Is 4 foot tall for the average height for a 3-year-old is 3 feet.
Holy hell.
What? Is that, my sense of reality is fucking broken. I don't understand anything anymore. Why would you do this to me? I'm going to be thinking about this for a long time. I don't understand. He's
going to be coping, seething, and molding.
Why didn't I get those genes? Fuck! I was an extremely lanky blonde stick. Okay. Fair. I mean, yeah, you would be at that point. Yeah. Growth hormones in the water, I guess. Yeah. Didn't start growing hair till I was 3, but I was normal height. Yeah, I mean.
Jeez. You outgrew your hair.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, wow. Hey, you learn something new, I suppose, every day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget it later, but like, holy shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
New game master trying to figure out this whole game mastering business.
Indiana is
or a
wild.
veteran looking for new tips and tricks, you don't want to miss this. My team and I took our collective game master.
Okay,
experience.
So he does have a team. Okay, fair enough. That makes more sense to like putting out all this stuff, very frequently, it seems. So good for him. Good for him.
Over 100 years worth and put it into this one book, The Secret Art of Game Mastery. Learn how to design campaigns, design adventures, encounters, maps, manage your game table, deal with problem players, and more. We also created 2 companion books, The Secret Art of Preparation and The Secret Art of Note-Taking. The first walks you through the process of designing and creating your own campaign and adventures, and the second helps you to capture important notes from your game sessions so that you can expertly weave plots and events as the campaign unfolds. Everything is designed to be system agnostic, so it doesn't matter which genre or game system you're using. And the books come in PDF, hardcover, and special edition leather covers.
Sheesh, look at all that. Good for you, man.
God damn.
Like, actually really good for you. As is always, if you want to go to the videos that we covered, the links will be in the description. And I don't know if maybe the Kickstarter link will get you there, but I don't know how to get to his actual like stuff. But you can probably find a way to from the link there. And if you have any interest whatsoever, I would recommend it, because it seems like they put a lot of effort into all of this stuff. So good. Very good. Learning is fun. That's true.
That will only be available as part of this Kickstarter. Learn more and back The Secret Art of Game Mastery at the link below. Number 3, don't be afraid to try a new house rule or rule set. But also, don't be afraid to admit when something's not working and change it.
So, out of character, just to give you a rundown, the way it's
This is
going to
high
work is
rollers.
Valena is going to be making the starseed. As she does that, things may happen that she might need help with, or you guys need to deal with, because it's going to mess you guys up, right? When she can, she will call out a foci. By the start of her next turn, you have to infuse it. And that means you have to touch it, and there will be a thing involved, right?
Right.
I'm just, because there's a lot of lore, but now I'm trying to get the mechanics for you guys so you understand it, right?
Yep.
So yeah, Valena will always act first in the initiative. She will always be at the top of the initiative, right? She will begin to, when she'll try and construct the thing, there will normally be an event that takes place, or there might be a thing that happens. And then once she's finished that, she can basically call out a foci. You then go and infuse that foci before she takes another turn. If you don't do that, it fails, there will be a consequence, and she can only handle so many failures, right?
So this is a combination of the first point and this point, like explaining how a rule will work, as well as introducing a new house rule. Now, I guess it's not necessarily a house rule or rule set. I don't know. It just seems like this is the mechanic that's being introduced, and I suppose you could put that in a house rule or homebrew or something. Because it's not necessarily in the book, so I guess anything that isn't in the book is considered that. So, but 2 things I don't want to highlight. This is something that doesn't seem like it's going to be anything that he's going to take back, because this is how the fight is going to work, right? Or the encounter, I suppose, is going to work. So I think it's a little strange to use this as your example for that, when you added that additional thing, though. I guess you'll talk about more of the way that will work afterwards. But having them completely understand something that is completely new to the system and was not in there before is incredibly important.
Yes.
For something that's homebrew, for sure. You like more so than just a rule in general. Like, you need for them to understand how your homebrew will work, because otherwise they're going to be blindsided by just random shit of like how this will play out, because they have no idea how it goes. Because they can't look into the book and see what happens, for sure.
Yes.
So good idea. I don't want to go to Indiana now. The water scares me. Fair. The Ohio River is the most polluted river in the U.S. I thought that was the Hudson.
Yeah, I think it's the Hudson.
I don't know. Trust me, you don't want to come to Indiana. The land is cheap, the food is plentiful, nearly half the astronauts come from here, and gas is currently like $3. Well, yeah, gas is like $3 where I am too, so.
Yeah.
Legitimately, the Ohio River is. Oh. Okay. Also, we are the highest producers of meth and coal power. Way!
Yo!
Yeah, put in some nuclear power, please.
Yes, please.
Everybody should. God. Just give me my own personal nuclear generator. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Let's be Fallout.
Yeah, that's all I need. Come on.
Yeah. You're fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when somebody does successfully infuse a foci, they must remain next to it. If you leave that foci, it will become uninfused, and you will have to do it again.
Is that an automatic failure then, or?
It would count as an
just
automatic.
restart?
It would count as an automatic failure, and you've got to redo it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she say there was an order we had to do them all in as
Yes,
well?
she will call out the order. Like, you don't have to worry about that. It is memory, magic, spirit, knowledge, connection, hope.
Now, that was Mark Holmes introducing a new set of special rules to his High Rollers players for a specific encounter. And check out what happens in this next clip from the next game session.
But before we get to your turns in this sort of pseudo encounter, I'd like to ask, do you guys trust me with something? So to explain this, I had some thoughts about the encounter that we last did. And I wasn't
okay, so we have a thing of like a retcon to the rules as well. Okay, I spoke too soon. I retract.
with some of the things in it. I didn't think that some of it was fair, and also some of it wasn't very interesting or exciting. So and luckily you guys happen to have a demigoddess of time and space. So to kind of retcon some of the things, I'm not going to change everything, but to make it a bit more fun and a bit more fair, I've made some slight changes to this encounter, right, for these last three foci.
Okay, so that clip was from the beginning of the next episode, their next game session, and he explains why he thought the rules weren't working and why he changed them. Now, I've introduced house rules in my games. I think most game masters have, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't work. So always be willing to evaluate a rule and get rid of it if it's not working. Now, discussing with your players can be helpful as well. For instance, I had a special initiative system that I came up with that I think I shared in a previous video, like a couple years ago perhaps. And my Sword Coast Guard group and I used this initiative system for perhaps a year or so. And then finally, I was kind of starting to not like it a whole lot, and I had a discussion with my players, and several of them didn't like it either, and we actually decided to go back to the base initiative system in the core rules. So don't be afraid to throw something out if it's not working. Talk with your players about it and see what they think too. Narrative.
This is fucking weird, man.
Yeah, it's just good.
Yeah,
it's just
very good.
We've talked about it before, in fact, of when you are putting those rules out, you doing this of telling your players, okay, I'm going to put in this rule. It works like this. If we don't like it, we can, or if we don't want to use it, we don't have to use it, right? Or if we don't like it as we use it, we can change it, we can fix it, we can really try to make it work, or we can remove it entirely, right? Like that's something we've talked about a bunch of times. So yeah. Good. What am I supposed to do with this? I will say, juxtaposed against the previous video, this is fucking gold. And the other one, I mean, again, I'm glad that you've learned from the previous one, and so far you haven't done an annoying cutaway. Like you did the one thing, but that's just because you had some difficulty pronouncing it, and you got a little outtake in there that's fine. Like it wasn't anything bad, and I tolerated it because your points are good. Your video is good, so I can do that. Oh jeez. What am I supposed to do? We're halfway through, and I don't like. There's nothing. Like I feel like there's gonna be nothing else that we need to really cover.
Pretty much, but I mean, there's only one way to find out, and there's not much point in stopping now. So.
I know. I feel bad. That's all. I feel bad.
That's fine.
Link in the description when it comes out of the VOD. Go watch the video itself.
Description. Number 4, use narrative description to spice up the game and provide immersion.
Okay,
Now
so,
this is interesting.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Are you, oh boy.
Okay, now we have something that we can tear into a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll see what he does.
If he just does a complete turn, I mean, good.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's been 7 months since, or 9 months since the last one, I think. Yeah, something like that. A year, and then this was 3 months ago, so 9 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, can I reach in my bag and grab out, in my little pouch, grab out a handful out of my 1,000 ball bearings?
Oh, I remember this.
You have 1,000 ball bearings. I remember that.
1,000 ball bearings.
We had money. She bought a lot of ball bearings.
Oh, okay. So he had to censor it because his channel is family friendly. Ha 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 ha.
1,000 ball bearings.
Yes.
All right.
And can I take it and just kind of like, you know how you can kind of like take your pocket and kind of flip it inside out and just have a bunch of ball bearings kind of go ting, 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 ting across this way?
You hear what sounds like hundreds of tiny metal clanks in succession as ball bearings begin to just spray down the stairs and scattering across the floor of this central makeshift ritual room as they kind of run through the various semblances of gore and the areas of the stonework that are exposed between.
Now that was from Critical Role Campaign 2.
Crazy.
And notice how Matt, instead of just saying okay and moving on to the next turn, describes the ball bearings rolling across the floor after Mercer Ray's character tosses them out to impede enemies. Throwing out the ball bearings isn't just a throwaway, isn't just an okay. There's a narrative description that goes along with it that makes it way more interesting than it otherwise would have been. Now, I have talked about narrative descriptions in the past on my videos, and I once got a comment where the person was essentially saying that it can be really hard to develop this habit of narrative descriptions, and it's also hard too because a game master has lots of things they're juggling during a game, and so also being sure to do narrative descriptions can be really taxing. And I get it, I do. The game master has a lot of things going on, and narrative descriptions just add on to it. But this is my personal experience. I've had games where I didn't do narrative descriptions, and I've had other games where I intentionally describe things much better, especially during combat, which is an often overlooked place to have descriptions because we are so focused on combat rules and hit points and keeping track of all the math. And I can tell you that the games where I used descriptions always feel so much better to me. Now, that's just my viewpoint as a game master.
That's weird.
What?
That's weird. I mean, yeah, okay, so I feel like he's talking about something different than what he was talking about in the previous video that we watched. This is why he likes it.
Yeah, either that or he thinks it's different.
Well, so it is, actually. What he was talking about before was describing a scene. This, he's describing an action.
Okay.
That's the difference here. Now, I don't know why he would think that one was worse than the other in the sense of overly describing something and not and having shorter descriptions for a scene. I suppose this is short as well, but it is adding to your flow of the it is adding to the time of the combat. So isn't that antithetical to some of the stuff that he's been kind of saying before?
Yeah.
But the problem that I have is just that, or I guess the issue that I have that in understanding is in your previous video, and again this was a year ago, so you obviously learned something at this point. In comparison, though I don't have anything but that video and this video to go off of. In that video, you disparage because the DMs would describe something fully to the most, or at least the professionals, would describe something pretty fully, and it could take a lot of time and bore your players. Now, couldn't the same thing be said if you overly describe, or I guess quote-unquote overly describe, every action that somebody else does?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really trying to see why there's a difference there, and potentially at this point he would say, "Oh, I was wrong before." Like I don't know if he would or not, but that's something that he could say. In which case, I would go, "Okay,
yeah."
The other thing that I wanted to point out is a lot of the time, at least for people that aren't, a Critical Role or, well, even then, sometimes they describe the action themselves, and I think that's usually how things work, just because you want to have your own personal flair to how your character does something.
It's the how do you kill it?
Sure, yeah, exactly that too. But what I mean is just how you're fighting, how you throw these things out there. Like the best one that I have that I can remember right now is when I was a bard and we were in the house of some really rich vampire guys, and one of the things that we did was we gathered up a bunch of like burning embers, and I started to, as I said, toss them about as if I were a flower girl.
Nice. Yeah,
and
that's good.
That really gives the description of how it looked when I was doing it. And it really made it my own thing, because it was just what came off the top of my head at the moment. And like, don't get me wrong, Matt's good at describing how things are going and stuff, but I would probably allow the player to describe it themselves before I step in to describe it. Because even with that situation, Matt was asking, or Marisha was more asking if she could do that, and then he said he didn't really say yes. Did he say yes? He just kind of said, "That's what you do."
He just kind of, well, I mean, it's not really anything that she couldn't do.
No, of course.
He just described it.
Of course. It's one of those things where I understand that he knew that that's what she was going to do with her action. I would be like, okay, how do you, like, what does that look like? Because I like the idea more so of having the player embody their character, really gets them to care about it more, and such. So I don't know, that one was weird to me, but you guys said lots of things about Indiana. What's going on in the chat? Sorry. That's why Ohio State kicks everyone's ass at football, says the Penn State fan. Oh. Southern Indiana is gonna build a nuclear power plant, but after 3 Mile Island happened and Jane Fonda spent money to send protesters down, they stopped construction. Of course they fucking did. Yeah. Okay. 3 Mile's the fucking... God, I wish that didn't get so blown out of proportion,
Yep.
When people from the Ohio River Valley go to other places, the cleaner air gives us superpowers, like a Kryptonian visiting a yellow sun. But it's only for football. Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna stay in southern Arizona. It's boring. No floods, no tornadoes, no hurricanes, no quakes, no blizzards, no mutated rivers of water, just nothing.
What about sandstorms?
Oh, do you get Darudes? I'm sorry.
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It was a good one that was just like very quick, and I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Family friendly. What's that shit? Yeah, I don't know. It's something that you do if you want to be successful.
Yeah. And we will never be.
No. Southern Indiana gets all of those things except hurricanes, and one hurricane did kind of make it up to here one time. Well, fair enough. Not quite as many blizzards, but a few. I like how Lux teaches me things. Yeah. Yo, Lux, are you talking about like or Ike knocked out power for the whole week? Oh. Selling Indiana pretty not well. Trying to appeal to the extreme survivalist market. Fair. We did get one torrential downpour this summer. It flashed rain 6 inches in an hour. Jesus. The guy in the hoodless Jeep didn't look happy. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Nothing sells Indiana well. The best selling point for it is that it's one of the most mild places to live. Fair. Also, you can tell that the video hasn't said anything that terrible because we are all talking about the Ohio River Valley instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana is good at basketball most of the time. Oh my god, Timothy, the fucking Pacers basketball brawl. Yeah, this is the thing. The only contention that I have so far is just the inconsistency, but then again, it has been literal months.
It's been almost a year.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it's fine that there is an inconsistency there because I don't know when it changed, or if it is changed because this seems to be a completely different thing, you know. But again, it's like, it's fine. Being descriptive is good. I just think that allowing your players to be descriptive is better, but that's my personal take.
I imagine my players enjoyed it more. You'll have to ask them, though. Actually, let me retract that whole statement about perspective that I said a couple seconds ago, because I'm a player in a game right now, and I can tell you that when the game master uses narrative description, it improves my game experience. And when the other players describe what their characters are doing, not just with game mechanics, but with actual descriptions of, like, I'm swinging my sword, I'm blah, 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 whatever, that definitely improves my game experience. 100%. Yeah. It's not just from a game master's perspective. I'm telling you from a player's perspective, it improves the game for me. By the way, if you're finding this information useful, please give me a thumbs up and share this video with others.
I mean, I would. This is one of those ones that I would send to somebody. Like, so far, I don't doubt that it will remain consistent throughout in quality, but like, this is absolutely a video that I would be like, yeah, be proud of this. Like, this is good. Like, nothing wrong with it.
You are saying good things. Finally.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it at all so far.
One of the best ways you can help other game masters is by sharing helpful content. Number 5. However, not all narrative descriptions need to be long and detailed.
Oh, okay.
She looks at Ethel, and there might even be a little fear in her eyes. You can't tell. She looks human, but also not human. The features are all a little elongated. The nose is a little too long. The hair is a little too string-like. Her mouth is a little too wide as she smiles at you.
That was Troy Lavallee, once again, of his Glass Cannon Live show, and he gives a quick and solid description of the hag the characters are fighting. You see, sometimes less is more, as it allows the players to form their own image of something rather than the GM's image of it. You don't need to take up a lot of game time to give a good description that will inspire your players' imaginations. You see, long descriptions of everything can and will bog the game down.
Yes. If you do it for every single thing, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've got a potentially here, right? Because it's like, as you said, if you do it for every single little thing, for sure. But like, in the beginning, to set up, setting of wherever you are, like we said before, and I agree that, if you give just basics that are necessary just to give the idea of what you're describing to the player, they can fill in the gaps for some things, but at the same time, you're giving enough that if they ask a question, you can go into more detail, right? Like, that's the thing that he was talking about before, in the previous video. Though it's put better here, I would say. So, but yeah, it's just, can and will bog it down, but again, just if you continuously do it every single fucking time,
Only do that if you know all your players love that stuff and are willing to contribute themselves. I mean, the GM can't do all the work. I think every time that I talk about narrative descriptions, I see comments on my videos, and I think one of the main complaints of folks is that narrative descriptions and describing things takes too long. And what I'm trying to tell you here is that it doesn't need to. It can be short and sweet. In fact, I use short descriptions most of the time in my game. It is my preference, short and sweet. I save the long, detailed descriptions for key moments in the story, such as boss fights and things like that. Number 6.
Okay, yeah, no, that's yeah, you're good. Then you've changed from the other video, or at least you've made your point a lot more understandable to the point of I have no issues with what you've said, except for the absolute that you put in with no conditional.
Yeah,
that's the only contention that I have so far, and that's good that there's only the one contention.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. College, to be fair. I interpreted it as college. Went to the IUB when they beat Kentucky and a buzzer beater. They shut down a whole street on campus because of the celebration. Whoa. Nice. Indiana and Kentucky will go to war over basketball, though. Oh, will they? Nice.
Use specific words or language to drive home the emotion or atmosphere you're trying to create.
And Ismark thinks about that for a moment and ushers you guys inside, closes the door behind you, and now you're all sort of trapped inside this mausoleum-like edifice.
I feel like trapped is a stronger choice of words.
Well, all the windows are boarded up, so it's like very claustrophobic.
Okay, so in this example, you can see that Chris Perkins, while running Curse of Strahd for his Dice Camera Action Season 1 show, uses the word trapped. And when he uses that word trapped, he's describing the characters entering a friendly location. So why would he use it? To maintain that horror tone of the adventure. Here's a preparation tip for you. If you're trying to maintain a certain theme or tone or atmosphere or emotion to your adventure, to your campaign, you can brainlist a list of words in advance of your games and then use them throughout the game session to inspire that feeling you're going for. Something.
You could, yes. I think that's just a general writing tip, really. Because, like, whatever you're trying to convey, you need to use words that
convey it.
Yeah, exactly, convey it. But like words that fit the situation as well, because like if you're in a you know a tense situation, you should be using words like, I don't know, scrambled, or like what's another action that people do in tense situations? Shaking is good to have as something that you do if you're nervous about something, like or at least unsure about what you're doing in the current situation. Like even using what are they fucking called? God, it's been so long. Similes? Yeah.
Synonyms.
No. Similes for like a, you know, a leaf in the wind, you know, like just to describe the atmosphere,
like
or something.
A turd in the wind.
Like a turd on the wind. I've never watched that movie. Oh god.
I've only seen that scene.
Apparently it's fun, but it's bad.
Yes, that's what I've heard as well.
That's all I've heard, and I've yet to watch it, even though I love Venom, so I don't know. But yeah, it's just you really want to put in those words to really give them, because like if you describe an NPC doing an action that's, you know, specific, and you use specific words, then you're going to tell the players like how they're feeling about a certain situation, which then adds to how the situation is to them, right? It's just, I mean, yeah, it's just good to do. That way you can really convey it.
Else. Number 7, an RPG can be anything you want it to be.
That's
the
crazy.
lesson here is to not feel limited or restricted by what the game or people who play it say it should be. The game can be anything you want it to be, whether you're playing D&D, Pathfinder, Savage Worlds, Fate, Shadowrun, or something else. In the example here, Brennan Lee Mulligan is introducing several of his Dimension 20 campaigns, none of which are traditional D&D fantasy, even though they use the D&D game system. These are examples of all the cool things that you can do with an RPG system. Okay, so in this clip right here, Brennan is introducing the...
Remember, this is for new people, so this is fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Unsleeping City, a game set in modern fantasy New York.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start to bring us to this new land of myth and magic that might seem eerily familiar to some of our viewers at home. It is a snowy, blustery day.
God, I hope this doesn't
cold,
go
crisp,
like
clear skies over the best skyline of any city that has ever been or will ever be. It is New York City, baby. Snow flurries from the sky as the wind kicks up. We see gusts of freezing air blow past the Chrysler Building, down through streets of honking cabs and just miserable-looking pedestrians who crowd into the tunnels.
Okay, for this one right here, Brennan is introducing Fantasy High, a John...
No.
What?
This is the the Fantasy High was the first campaign.
I think he's doing a second clip.
Oh.
Hughes-esque high school drama set in a fantasy world high school.
Yeah.
This season marks the beginning of our adventure into the world of Fantasy High, where we ask the question that has long gone unasked. What would happen if John Hughes ran a game of a tabletop RPG? And we're gonna find out today. Swords, high school, puberty, magic, it's all coming together.
And then we have Brennan introducing A Crown of Candy, an adventure set in a world where everyone and everything is some kind of snack food.
There was once a kingdom known as Candia. Wind sweeps over vast plains and rolling hills of chocolate chip cookie fields. Here in a vast realm of sweet things and peppermint forests. High in the distance, the northern peaks of the Great Stone Candy Mountains. Swirling snowstorms of ice cream winds peel over the horizon. We see tall trees of ancient lolly orchards and our sugar cube farmers toiling the fields.
Great. Now tell
Why
me
does everybody around the table seem so fucking bored?
Oh, they're just waiting. That's all.
God, they seem so. I'm smiling ear to ear.
Well, yeah, because you love candy.
I do love candy, but why aren't they? God, that's fucking fantastic. They seem so bored.
Just because they're not as excited as you doesn't mean they're bored.
Oh, they're bored.
You just love candy too much.
I just love candy too much, dude. I haven't had candy in almost a full fucking year at this point.
Yeah, it's
okay, so you know what? It also doesn't help that I had intended to do a candy thing in my own material world.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Where there was going to be like this magic glade where it's like, okay, this place is magical. And what happened? That magic, the residual magic made it so that the sugar in everything is like hyper, it's hyper sugar. And so you have blades of grass that are, coated in sugar.
Yeah.
You've got trees and, so, and like they've got like lakes of gummy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hell yeah.
Man, I don't feel original anymore, but oh well.
No, nothing
I'm still
is
gonna
original.
do it.
Well, fucking Candyland exists, brother. Like,
yeah, I know.
Don't ever feel original about anything, man. And Candyland's for babies.
Candyland is for babies.
It's one of the worst games out there. It's for babies.
Yeah, it's true. It's a shame, but it's true.
Yeah. Let's see. Guy has a lot of points all about narrative description that probably could have been 1 point.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I'm fine with him being more descriptive in this video because he wasn't descriptive in the other one.
Yeah.
And that made me upset. So at least he's trying. I love Venom 2. He's great in the new Spider-Man game. Spider-Man 2, haven't played it yet. Is it even out yet? I have yet to play Miles Morales yet. I've yet to finish the first Spider-Man, though I finished the main story. I'm just doing the DLC stuff. It's good stuff. I really like that game, actually. And from what I've seen...
Spider-Man games, I was like fucking 10.
Spider-Man's great. I love Spider-Man. But, like, this is the one game that I've been like, oh, this is, like, actually Spider-Man. Like, this is the game, you know?
Yeah.
And I hear really good things about 2 in the sense of, like, load times and stuff. Like, it seems like it's going to be great. Anyway, he mentioned Shadowrun. He's not so bad now. Yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah. He said he can do anything. Hot damn, that's right. I'm now allergic to candy. Candyland TTRPG, cool. Yeah. Can I be a rock candy golem warforged? Hell yeah.
Yes.
Galvin could not go there. He has a sweet tooth. Fair enough. Oh, it is out? Oh, nice. Yeah. This is something that I mean, so the pros, right, quote unquote, the pros do this all the time, and it's seen in like anybody, if anybody were to try it. You can, like, we've talked about it as well a bunch. Like, you can use D&D as a template for any setting. It doesn't matter. Setting isn't the problem, right? Setting is never the problem. It's just how you implement the rules into the setting, and that's usually not a problem either. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking whatever you want and changing it however you want to fit that setting. It's incredibly easy and barely inconvenience, I'd say.
Yeah.
You just gotta flavor stuff a little bit different sometimes.
Dude, you could play as a monk and your staff is a candy cane.
Hell yeah, brother. That's right.
And you could also play as somebody who uses a whip and it's a giant Twizzler.
You play as a wizard and your wand is an ice cream cone.
Dude, you could play as a barbarian who has a club and it's basically just a stick with a jawbreaker at the end.
Yeah, there you go. I would start at the corner of the kingdom and just start eating the ground from there. There you go. Yeah.
Let's see. If you could do like stinking cloud, but instead it's like warhead dust.
Yes.
So it's too sour to do anything.
Yeah. Yo, a chocolate turtle turtle. Yes. There you go. For sure.
What GM lessons have you learned over the years that other folks might find helpful? And don't forget to back the Secret Art of Game Mastery at the link below. We got some amazing special offers only available during the first few days of the Kickstarter. Now, if you'd like to learn how to instantly improve your role-playing game, check out this video right here. This one thing can be the difference between a great game and a bad
fuck
game.
off.
This
Next
one
time.
trick.
Happy game.
Yeah, this one trick. All DM Wizards of the Coast hate him.
Yeah.
God. Fucking Christ, man.
Okay. All right. Sure. Whatever.
We thought you had improved.
Well, I
You've
mean, he
proven us
did.
wrong.
He did. Let's be entirely fair. That was a good video.
Oh yeah, no, it was a good video.
Like, it's actually good. He's improved from the last one. I would actually like send that to somebody if they wanted some tips on some stuff. At the same time I would probably say, well, you don't have to learn from a professional. You could just, like, any mom and pop fucking actual play would tell you how to play the game, you know? Probably just the same way. So, you know. Candy corn that explodes into caltrops when stepped on. Hell yeah, there you go.
Yo.
B+ for me. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Sounded like a good video. The only problem is I didn't pay attention to it. Well, it'll be in the description, so you can go and look at it yourself. And I would recommend it. I would. So please do, if you want to. Really. Good. I learned more about Indiana. True, me too. Yeah, it's unfortunate because all that stuff is very I mean,
basic.
it is meant for new players. He said that in the beginning. You had to keep that in mind throughout, but it was all stuff that we couldn't really comment on because we've talked about it before.
Yeah,
like
talk
it's all
about it, and it's solid points.
Yeah, and it's all just really solid. And I could only just add some slight anecdotes here and there, and that's it. Right? Like just the one contention, just because of phrasing. That he should have worked on, but you know, absolutes are hard to walk away from. I understand. Yeah, I mean, overall, good stuff. Good stuff. Much better showing, and honestly, a much better way to end off for the videos tonight. So
yeah, true.
Good
Especially considering how bad the Garibay was.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here's the thing, everybody. We have a lot of comments, okay? There's a lot.
But we are tired, I assume.
But I am the tired man still.
I am also the tired man, actually.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll probably have to do just another catch-up episode just to read stuff and talk some more and such. But at the moment, I think we're just going to keep the comments where they are. We'll keep them all... You know, as long as you guys don't get rid of them, they'll stay there forever. So
at least until the internet is deleted.
That's right. And YouTube crashes and burns into fire. Yes.
already well on its way.
Well, I think that even so, it will never fully die, that fire.
Oh yeah,
So,
no.
Anyway, so again, apologies for not reading them once again. It has been weeks at this point, I'm sure. I will have to find the actual starting point that I will need to go from looking at the last time that we actually read comments, which was weeks ago. So I will make sure to make a note, and we will get to them when we get to them. I am sorry. You guys just put so many words that I can't just read quickly, which is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it, and I'm glad that you guys want to put long comments. Don't let me stop you. Don't let me. I want you to keep writing shit. Even if it's just in our comments section, it's more writing, which is good.
Yes.
Always good. Always like seeing people write stuff. Anyway, I'm tangled in a wire. That's why I'm like moving my head and stuff, and that's why I might sound a little farther away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there it is. What the fuck? Anyway, thank you all.
It's time to go.
Yeah, thank you all for hanging out.
Yes, goodbye. No, goodbye.
I might just react to the video for this episode instead of writing more lore because I really need to finish reading the Fabula Ultima rulebook. Oh, hell yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Yes. So thank you once again. Thank you to our lovely flippers, that being again.
You don't know them by heart, you monster.
Well, I do, but they need to be on the screen, you know?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Draco Kraken, Mog Zero, Rick, aka Unit Rico, Slazer, Steely, Crimson Rose Armok, and our Tier 1. Appreciate you all. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week for the next one.
And have a nice Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, if you're in America, happy soon Thanksgiving next week. That's always... We got another show before then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'll say it next time, then.
Okay, sounds good. You don't have a happy Thanksgiving until next time.
Yeah, okay, I retract it.
Yeah, I take away your happiness.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.